Yo, what's up, everybody? We are live. We are here. We are back. NRO podcast. We got Cold Blood here. Cold Blood, how you feeling, brother?
Good, bro. Finally, podcast time.
Yeah. My apologies.
Waiting the whole weekend.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Bro, I was waiting the whole weekend for your ass to come back.
My apologies. Now I'm screwing up already. My apologies for starting late. And the removal of the or the moving of the podcast. I'm having technical difficulties for some reason. Stuff doesn't want to work today. I don't know what the hell the problem is, but yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, now it's working. Solo video. We don't want that. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, and then we started a little bit late today because I had to take care of some things, and then plus I didn't get a chance to rap with my brother, like you said, all weekend. So we had to take care of that before we went live. Something is wrong here. Stuff is not working the way it's supposed to. Is that right? Okay. Here we go. Okay. Juice, where you at? Juice, there you go, Juice. Juice was talking all that shit, cold blood. Did I curse too soon? I think I did. Darn it. Juice was talking all that stuff, cold blood. Where y'all at? Messing with my brother. I saw you in the Discord messing with my brother. But no, it was my fault, everybody. So, shout out to Juice in the chat. He says, yo. What else we got up in here? We got RPG8080 says, howdy. I got to send out this tweet too. I didn't get a chance to send it out. Everything is running behind here. Cold Blood. While I'm setting all this crap up, what have you been playing this weekend?
Monster Hunter.
A lot of Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
I don't.
You think I'm gonna say sunscreen?
No, yeah, you already let us know in the Discord when your stop time was. You already told us that in there.
I will only play Assassin's Creed on stream. Like I am playing that on my free time.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it should be the reverse. You might want to play Monster Hunter on stream. I don't think we believe you, man. I don't think we believe you in this Monster Hunter stuff. I don't think you really.
Next free update when it comes out.
You completed the motherfucker, huh?
Yes, I always have platinum.
Oh shit, this dude is crazy. We got like maybe 3% of that. Whatever you did to your streams though, man, holy fuck. I know you said you only want to do Assassin's Creed streams on, but that 4K stream is awesome, bro. That shit look crispy to the motherfucker. I couldn't believe it.
You sure about that?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Didn't look to me like that, but okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I was watching it live and I saw it after the fact. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm wondering if you watched it while it was rendering again, because YouTube will do something weird. Like when it's live, it'll look great, and then it'll like process a little bit, and then it'll start like trying to render it or process it even more. And during that processing period, like there's a period where it's processing it further, and it looks like crap. It looks like 1080p slop. So YouTube is weird like that. I'm not a big fan of YouTube.
Wait, are you saying 90% of PC gamers are still playing 1080p slop? That's what you're saying?
Only 90%? only 90? Like, come on, bro. Like, no. Let's stop it. Let's stop.
There's another 5% that play at 720p.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, they still got like the RTX 790 Ti and shit. Bro, Banana currently has 114,000 people in it right now. You tell me. You tell me what their specs are. Like, ain't no way in God's green earth I'm gonna believe that These bugs got good specs. Yeah, spread the news and everybody know we are live. Sorry about that, y'all. Did I send that tweet out? Okay, yep, I did. Let's do this here. I want to do one more thing here. I want to send this out on the and just in case if you guys aren't aware, I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. Make sure you're following us on the MM2K network account as well. You know, you'll get up-to-date information. You're like, say for instance, y'all don't want to hear my personal post. You just want to know what's going on with the channel. Make sure you're following us there too. We got anybody else in the chat? I'm like all over the place. Andrew Wilkins in the house. 360 hating Andrew Wilkins. He says Xbox wins cause all the fans say they do. Anyone who ever's bought an Xbox needs mental reprogramming. Oh, this dude. Hey, yo, I bought an Xbox. You trying to say I need mental reprogramming? Andrew Wilkins.
Absolutely you did. Absolutely you did.
Andrew hates Xbox.
Do not deny it, man. You needed a lot of reprogramming.
Ah, God. This dude hates Xbox, bro. This dude hates it. I thought Cold Blood hated Xbox. This dude I think Cold Blood and I have Game Pass, like PC Game Pass, right? So Cold Blood's like, yeah, there's somewhat of a use. I mean, if they're going to drive themselves in the ground with Game Pass, so what? I don't care. It's all funny to me. I'll get PC Game Pass. I bet you Andrew has never spent a dime on game. Even if it was free, he's never got Game Pass. he's banned the letter X from ever being used in his house. the letter X in the word box. Can nobody in this house? Like, Andrew has a hate for Xbox. We got Devil Shooter in the house. Shout out to their brother Andrew Wilkinson. That's the homie. Devil Shooter 126. He says, hey, what's going on? Do us a huge favor, because this normally isn't the time that we podcast. Let everybody know that we're live. Yeah, I've actually Cold Blood. I got like I want to say I snuck in like 7 hours of gaming, like super wee early in the morning. 5 of it over the weekend was Assassin's Creed. And I've actually been playing RoboCop. And yeah, I've been playing RoboCop and what's the other game? Oh, and Homefront. Homefront, that old ass Homefront. Bruh. The game isn't the best. Now I'm starting to like get my memory back on why the game got like a 58. But that game looks good for an 8-year-old game, bro. It looks like a current, like I wouldn't say one of the best looking games, but it looks pretty good. That's what's drawing me to this game, is how well it stands up 8 years later. That's sick. I don't recommend getting it on PlayStation because it's capped at 30 frames for some god awful reason. But you can get it on Steam. You can get like both the first Homefront that looks like Pac-Man in the second game, and all the DLCs with them for like $9 on Steam right now during the summer sale. So I highly recommend people do that. All right. Okay. We're going to do something new. I want to try something new. I want to, normally we run a video until the audience fills in, but we're going to create a segment called Community Recap, where instead of spending those 15 minutes talking about a video and then end up talking about what's going on in the community, let's start it off. Let's so we can get as much time on the main topics as possible. Let's start it off talking about a lot of the community stuff. We got a bunch of funny takes in the community that I want to go over. One kind of related to a conversation I had last week that touches on that a little bit. So let's do it. Hold on, I'm sending out tweets right now. and stuff like that, so everybody knows that we're live. Okay, so here goes something that I haven't heard yet, Cold Blood. This is a clip from Jamie. Where's my voice meter so to make sure you can hear it? This is a clip from Jamie, and it's talking about Shuhei Yoshida's his take on how Sony looks at exclusives. So I'm going to start our timer because we are going to be running this segment for 15 minutes. But let's go. Shuhei Yoshida's take on exclusives. Let me play it for you right now, Cold Blood, and get your thoughts. And this is the first time I'm hearing it too. I've held on to this clip forever, but let's go. You can't even hear it, so I got to start it over because I pressed the wrong. I forgot voice meter changed something. Screw you, voice meter. All right, now you should be able to hear it. Let's go.
One thing I find really interesting is even in this early era, right, understanding the value of exclusive software, right? Because here's the thing is like PlayStation would get Final Fantasy VII and it would be getting all of these, you know, third-party exclusives, right? And so the idea that like there is value in creating this team that can create these games for our console exclusively, I think is really interesting. And so I wonder if that came from above to you. Like, were you told like, hey, we need a certain number of titles and they need to like make our console look special?
Yeah, it definitely came from the management group. They, you know, they are very intent to grow first-party development. Because you know they clearly knew the exclusive games are crucial to make the video game platform successful.
This idea of like so we talk.
I mean, he said nothing in particular there, but I thought it was interesting to bring this up, Cold Blood, because we're having this discussion about exclusives all the time and exclusives being bad and exclusives not mattering, and then that conversation is intensifying again now. I just wanted to get your thoughts again for those that have not heard what you and I think about exclusives and why or why not they're good or important. What are your thoughts on exclusives and how important they are to have a successful platform or ecosystem? Go ahead, brother.
If you have competition, it's absolutely crucial.
Yep.
If you don't got a competition, whatever. Like, the competition is your console against some PC parts. That's your competition then at that point. And if that is what Sony wants to do in the future, like have no competitor anymore and don't really give a fuck about first party, well, they can continue on the path they're doing right now. Have less and less of that, just have some fucking deals or something for marketing. But in my opinion, super crucial if you have competition.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more optimistic, but like I told you, I'm not arguing with you about this in 2025. I've learned my lesson. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm hoping that this lack of content that we're seeing, a lack of consistency, rather, let's put it like that, because it is a lack of consistency. We're still getting a decent amount of exclusives, but we're not getting as many as we were getting last generation. And I'm talking about overall. I mean, 2023 or 2024 started off with a bang, but after that, like there was been an inconsistency, and then looks like there's going to be an inconsistency again this year as far as what we got last generation. But it's still good to me, but I just don't like the trend. But I'm hopeful, Cold Blood. And again, I'm not going to argue with you on it because I get the pessimism. I'm hopeful that the trend that we're seeing is just a result of Jim Ryan going overboard on the games as a service thing, and so much of that fizzling out that now that Nishido is in charge of SIE, that they'll refocus. We know they're still going to do games as a service, but they understand that the majority of their investment is going to have to go into single player. Games as a service might have to be secondary while they're getting their sea legs, and just something that they do at the same time, not something that's going to somewhat cannibalize the single player effort. I'm hopeful that's what happens, but we'll see over time. But yeah, I totally agree with your assessment. If you're trying to be competitive in the gaming space, right, where you are, if you're direct to consumer, as far as bringing video games direct to consumer, meaning your ecosystem is what's bringing the games to people, and you want people to primarily or only deal in your ecosystem, you have to have exclusives, especially in 2025 and beyond. Why? Because it's not like back in the day where, you know, you had your library, I had my library, you know what I'm saying, and you just pick whichever library you thought was better. Like, there's not that much breathing room now when it comes to getting these games, because most of these games will show up everywhere that they can, that can support the game. So if that's the case, then you're only going to be feasibly, you're only going to have up to a handful of opportunities a year to separate yourself from the other people that are selling hundreds of games that are similar to yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like, I think I did the math in this generation. Each platform, I think, averaged around 300 to 400 games a year, right? So out of 300 to 400 games, if you only got 5 exclusives, that's not a lot of wiggle room nowadays. And so those exclusives have to be bangers. They can't just be, they can't just be additive. They have to be bangers. And that's why Sony goes all out and they give you games like Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, partner with people for excellent games like Stellar Blade, and so forth and so forth. That's why there's so much talk about their games. That's why their games, amongst those 300 to 400 games a year, they stand out. And that's why it's so important to do so, because, again, I gotta bring you to my ecosystem. So yeah, I get it to where people are like, oh man, I would love to play those 3 to 4 games everywhere. But these companies put a lot of blood, sweat, and equity into creating those games, a lot more than even a lot of multi-plat developers put in their games these days, because their games have to be better. And there's a purpose behind that. And you kind of dilute that purpose when you put the game everywhere. How do you do that? Well, how is that possible, MM? Because wouldn't putting your games in more places day one just create more sales? No. Parallel development. You got to be able to develop the games at the same place everywhere. It's not so simple. And that's why multi-plat games are so horrible, and they need a day one patch most of the time. You know, and when I say horrible, I mean as far as performance, because they got to meet these deadlines, because the sales of the games is what makes the company money. So they can't be taking their time with this. So they're throwing this slop out. You need these killer day one patches. The game is broken or whatever, horribly optimized, and you're waiting months sometimes for the game to play the way that they told you the game would play, versus an exclusive that's being built for a singular ecosystem or platform, right? There's simply more care put into it, because it's not about just selling you the game. The game is a lore. Yes, does the game have to fund itself? Yes. But as we've shown you multiple times, Sony operates on a 40-60 theory, meaning all we need is 40% of our games to be successful because they're going to fund the other 60%. We need them to be. We need those 40% to be successful. They're going to fund the other 60, and they're going to bring you to our platform. And our platform marketplace sales is what makes us money, not our exclusives. This whole thing that Hiroki Totoki is doing and enforcing and whatever with games on PC that Cold Blood was alluding to, that's to generate more revenue. But that's not to be the base revenue. And the aforementioned Shuhei Yoshida also mentioned, hey, look, we need to reach gamers in China. Like our console saturation in China isn't what it could be. So because we need to reach gamers in China and they're all on PC, look, we're gonna market these games. I mean, we're going to publish these games. We're going to get our name more recognized in their households. And then hopefully, like what we saw with Black Myth Wukong, we start seeing more and more of those PC gamers over in China pick up PlayStations. So yeah, if you want to be a successful marketplace, you got to ask yourself, what's your question? What do I want to be successful in? I want to be a successful marketplace. Okay. Well, if you want to be a successful marketplace in an ecosystem, you got to have exclusives. You got to lure people to you. You know what I mean? And you got to be, in this direct to consumer way. Like if you're providing a service or if you're providing hardware, like Game Pass and PS Plus is a service. PlayStation really doesn't rely on PS Plus, but it's there. Microsoft relies more on Game Pass, but on the flip side, PlayStation relies on the console where Microsoft has a console, but it doesn't really rely on it. If you want to be that type of ecosystem / platform / service, you got to have banger exclusives in order to be successful in that round. Now, what Steam has shown you is that you can have a successful PC marketplace that isn't direct to consumer. It's just a marketplace sitting somewhere on PC. And Steam has become more direct to consumer by creating these Steam decks or whatever, but that's not their thing. Their bread and butter is, hey, look, you just come to us, on PC and download our games on PC. Their direct to consumer market, as far as creating something that allows you to play their games, it's niche. Like what was there, 10 million handhelds sold over the few years or whatever, or 6 to 7 million of these handhelds sold over the 3 years that they've existed, and 4 million of them belong to Steam or whatever. Whatever the numbers are, it's very niche. Doesn't compare to console, right? It definitely doesn't compare to PC gaming. Now you can compete where Steam is at on PC, being a PC marketplace, but then you got to have some cool ass amenities, right? Like Steam's success is based upon the way that the store runs, the user friendliness of it. Like that's what makes Steam successful. And then another thing that Steam does is it runs this kind of, for lack of a better term, monopolistic thing where they're like, okay, if you put a game on our store, you cannot, and if it's on another store, you personally cannot have a sell on that store unless you put it on sale here too. So it's like, damn. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah. So they kind of thrown around their weight, and now they kind of make it like hard for you to indulge in their content, in a competitive fashion, because they're forcing publishers to grant them any access that they're granting it anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft can try that over there, but the question is, like, how successful they're going to be over there, because guess what? The Windows Store don't have them amenities. I mean, Battle.net might be cool, but can it run as a full-fledged marketplace as big as Steam? Time will tell. I don't know. You know what I mean? So,
Moss. Good thing you mentioned Steam. Because Valve, at some point, was making a lot of their own games. Remember that time?
Yep. Yep.
Why did they do that?
Why did they stop?
Can you? No. Why did they even make those first-party games in the first place?
Now you talking about the games they were making on console?
No. On Steam.
Like Half-Life and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were trying to lure people to Steam. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once there was no more competition for them,
yes.
it stopped.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I get where you're going.
Stop, bro.
Yep.
Like they are just a fucking marketplace now that nobody can compete with.
Yeah, exactly.
They got their fucking Counter-Strike players, their Dota players. They got everybody over there.
Yep.
And now most people are just used to Steam, so there's no competition for Steam. Like Epic Games can try and fail epically.
yeah, the epic fail games. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but they don't give a fuck about making more games now. Why should they? They just update their games they have already, make a shit ton of money with those, and on top of that, have the only fucking real marketplace on PC that people give a fuck about. They don't have to do no development now for new games. Why?
Yep. Yeah, true.
And in my opinion, the same shit could happen to Sony, but I guess the console has to be sold still somehow.
Yeah.
So they're always gonna have some exclusive, but goddamn, it's gonna be less and less now that the competition is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that, and that's why a lot of us, and I think a lot of people mistook why people like me and you, maybe not Andrew Wilkins, no, shout out to Andrew Wilkins, why me and you were like tapping Xbox in the back of the head consistently. Definitely me, because I was an Xbox fan. I wanted them in the fight to avoid the doomsday scenario, which I think is a very legitimate one that you just laid out. If, like Cold Blood said, if you look at Steam, that's a perfect example. They were still making Half-Lives and shit like that was exclusive, to Steam to lure you, because they understood what it was. But once they got their fangs in on the PC marketplace side, they then just said, well, hold on. We can keep plugging money in and making exclusives and taking risks there, because exclusives are risky. Like I said, Sony has a 40-60, they run off a 40-60 method. Yoshida broke it down to us a while ago. That's risky. That's a lot of risk. You can do that, or if you've gained dominance and you don't have any competition, just go throughout the marketplace and do what Steam did. You want to put a game on our store, you can't put it nowhere else on sale without giving us an opportunity to. Shit like that eliminates any other types of perks that any other store could have. And so now, like you said, Cold Blood, it's like for shits and giggles, they can come out with something. Or if they're trying to promote some type of service like VR, fuck it, we're going to do it. We're going to make an exclusive title, right? We're going to make an exclusive title to lure you to VR on our platform. Was that Half-Life Links? And I think there's a reason why we don't see that game elsewhere, right?
Yeah. I guess it might come out for PlayStation at some point. I mean, Steam never shied away from putting their games on consoles later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But you said the key word, later on. Now they did. Don't get me wrong. They did do like the Left 4 Deads or whatever because they were trying to capitalize on a console market as well, and they still made games and they still wanted to create revenue. But
on PC, you ain't seeing no Left 4 Dead or Half-Life on no other marketplace than Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to give away 30%.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, Left 4 Dead was on Xbox. Was it on PlayStation as well? But they had a cohesiveness with Xbox at the time. And what it was is it's a I don't want to say games, it's a multiplayer game. They said, we'll link it with Xbox. So you guys can help feed our player base. Kind of like what we saw with Helldivers 2. You know what I mean? But outside of that, they don't need to anymore. That's why they're not really making anything. But they just did the free-to-play shooter. I forgot what it's called. That's on Steam. Like,
bro, sure they're making something, but it's so inconsistent now.
Mm-hmm.
It's bro. They might release a game every 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, 5 years.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like 10 and shit. Yeah, but yeah, guys, it's exclusives. Exclusives have an impact, and we don't see them on Steam the way that we do. That we don't see them on Steam today because Steam already has its fangs in the PC community. It don't need to take that risk. Exclusives are, if you want to do them right, they're risky, and they don't need to do it. But the last couple of releases that they had, I think that free-to-play hero shooter or whatever it is, and Half-Life Links, I think those are exclusive, right? For now, even if they come later, they're exclusive. So, all right. So yeah, I thought that was important. Here's the bigger thing I wanted to talk, and I really wanted to get Cold Blood's thoughts on this. So this is coming from Jamie Zach, right? And then we'll get right into the show. Shout out to Jamie's Act. I know people like, he's a troll or whatever. And look, yeah, these people are trolls. And I think what makes them trolls, Cold Blood, a lot of them, not all of them, is the way they deliver their message. Their message is to like be a troll and attack you and attack whoever, and whatever. It is what it is. But the theme of the message isn't always the issue. Like, just because it's coming from a troll doesn't mean it's an issue. Like, just because an illiterate man tells you that a stop sign says stop, does it not say stop all of a sudden? No, it says stop. It's just that it's so clear that even the illiterate man knows what it says. So I want you guys to listen to this from Destin. And I want to get Cold Blood's thoughts, and I'll talk about it on the back end. But this is Destin talking about something that he's worried about. So let me pause the music. Here we go.
I'm talking about you have all of these products sitting there, not selling. You could use it as a promotional tool, do it this summer or something. And they've been sitting on it for a year and for 15 months. For 15 months, they've been sitting on this. You're telling me there's no time in the last 15 months they could have did a big promotion with like even 5 of the old Call of Duties or something. And they're looking at their console sales. I don't think they're going to be at 40 million anytime soon based on just the numbers people have come up with. On the high end, people are saying 36 million. I'm estimating closer to 32 million. We don't know where they are, but that's a dangerous place to be in when your competitor is nearing 80 million units sold. So they need the PlayStation sales. But I worry that if they keep going down this path of, there's no red lines. Phil Spencer told me in the interview, he told everybody in the interview, basically, we are going to do more multi-platform games. I do see a lot of conversation online from hardcore Xbox fans who yelled at me for using the wrong car paint when I did a graphics comparison in IGN, selling their Xboxes and just saying it's all going to come to PlayStation.
Okay. So before I let you chime in, Cold Blood, real quick, here's what I had to say, because this confused the hell out of me. Right. And I said this, I said, I don't get the logic behind these. I don't care where you game neutral sources. If people leave Xbox, why would you care? Was there worry about PlayStation 5 gamers supposedly going to PC? If a product doesn't suit a gamer and they have somewhere else to go, power to them. And you're going to hear, well, that's only a clip that doesn't give the full context. No, there's nothing to worry about. Even in the clip that we saw, it would be like, well, I'm curious on what Xbox's success plan is, roadmap is, but this is great. More games coming you see what I'm saying, Cold Blood? It's great, it's fantastic at the proposition of PlayStation games going everywhere. But as soon as we get into a deep dive discussion about Xbox and the no red line, then there's worry. And this is where I say people who push the neutral, I don't care where you game thing, this is where it hurts. And I was having this discussion last week. This is where it kind of hurts you when you're not consistent across the board. Now, I'm not saying everybody that does this isn't consistent, but if you're consistent, let's just say you're consistent, Cold Blood, but I'm not. And some people on the internet come after me. One thing that you're not going to do is you're not going to jump to my defense. You're going to say, Moss, if we get into Moss, what do you want me to say? You kind of fucked up. That's what you would say to me, and I wouldn't want it no other way. So for those that are trying to push this message, I would say, and I don't know Destin personally, I don't know, but this is the type of shit that gets under gamers' skins, gamers that aren't not fanboys, that are just looking for resolution and looking for the best way to game. They hear these messages that, oh, exclusives are great when these people are doing it. But then they hear the inconsistency, oh, now they make me worried when these people are doing it. And they upset gamers, and gamers react and go to these personalities that do it. And you other personalities that are like, hold on, I don't want none of these weapons tossed at me. You got to be careful of your association. You're guilty by that. That's just perception, not just the law. That's just the way it works. I'm telling you here on MM2K Gaming News, and the channel was named after me. If I went online and said some bullshit that didn't make any sense, I got quote unquote attacked online. My brother Cold Blood, privately and publicly, he won't hesitate to tell you in the Discord, bro, you were tripping for that. And I don't know what else to tell you, but maybe you want to clean up. So that's just my message to the community, because I know people felt like Destin had got attacked, or Destin gets attacked, and people want to, oh, that's not good. Destin doesn't mean any harm. There's a level of inconsistency there that you might want to step back and say, I'm not crossing this line. He's going to have to bear this. But Cobla, now I turn over to you. My question to you, my friend. What do you think about this, that Destin is worried about Xbox games having no red line? What do you think about this?
I mean, he's just worried his clicks gonna go down.
Yeah.
I mean, brother, look. The discussion is always about who has the better exclusives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox or PlayStation. What if those exclusives no longer are exclusives on the Xbox side?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is there to even discuss at that point? Besides, oh look, Microsoft is better than PlayStation is, but Who gives a fuck at that point? Like,
Exactly.
I would not give a fuck if Microsoft makes the better games as long as they come to PlayStation. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is what the fuck it is. Like I would not no longer be discussing this then, like that, you know, because they all are afraid of the console war ending.
Yeah.
As we know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I think it is. I think there is a sector of people.
Bro, and also he hates it so much that Phil Spencer is being straight with them now.
Yes.
He hates it so much. You can tell immediately by his voice. Bro does not want Phil Spencer to speak the truth at all.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to sugarcoat everything and say, yeah, we still have exclusives and we're still making hardware. We're still in the business as Xbox, not as Microsoft Gaming. He wants to hear that, but Phil Spencer is like, yo, you are so irrelevant to me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your money is not making me money. So I go over there where it makes me money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, the moment PlayStation game goes over to PC, that's when they have a fucking victory fanfare, bro.
Yeah.
They go completely insane every time PlayStation says, "Yeah, this game goes to PC." They're like, "Ha ha! See,
Yeah.
PlayStation is multiplayer too."
Exactly.
But never considering the fact we played this motherfucker 2 years ago at least.
Mm-hmm.
Where he kind of would be going under my skin a little bit is with Spider-Man 2, because that motherfucker was not even 2 years.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable to me still.
Mm-hmm.
That is where Sony is like, yeah, we're gonna try to push the limit more and more and more until that limit is day and day. And if that happens, brother, I told you what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
The next fucking PlayStation generation is no longer a generation I give a fuck about.
Mm-hmm. This is an embarrassment looking at Spider-Man. And some people may be listening to this Cold Blood and they might say, oh, here they go again. Why you guys are that much fanboys and you keep attacking PlayStation? No. Here's what you guys got to understand. Some people bought a PlayStation simply for the exclusive content. That was their deciding factor. Like, they probably would have said, you know what? I'd rather invest in a PC. If we're just looking at straight multiplats, if it's a multiplat thing, I'd rather invest in a PC. But what's changing my mind, what's making me go and buy this extra set of hardware are these exclusives. So it's not about, oh, those guys, because Cold Blood has a PC too. He has a PC better than 99% of y'all that are fucking listening to this. If you are going to make that shit, reasonably multiplat, then why the fuck am I wasting my time on this hardware? I could have just went and got and played it on my high-powered PC. That's pro-consumer. That's a pro-consumer stance. A lot of people listen to this like, oh, you're just being a whole fooey because you hate it. You want a console war. No, it's like I spent extra money unnecessarily if this shit is just going to come near several months later. That's the argument.
Bro, if games come day and date on PC,
yeah,
I'm gonna save so much money all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because right now, brother, right now, a game on PlayStation, a AAA game, for me in Germany costs 80 euros.
Yep.
You know what I can get it at launch or on a fucking key side?
Like maybe 50.
Even less than that.
Yep.
At launch.
Yep. Yeah.
So, bro, I'm literally saving 50% on every game at that point.
Come on.
It would be a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. I don't think people understand the argument, though. They think it's just about, oh, you just don't want them to have it. No, I mean, that might be infused in some of the rhetoric, but it's just a consumer thing. Like, why did I buy this piece of hardware? The main thing that I bought this hardware for was the exclusives. Because I already got a PC. I already got a piece of hardware that's good enough to play this shit multi-plat on its own. So if those games go over there, why did I buy this why did I buy this hardware for one, and for two? And I think the bigger question, is it going to be as good? Because as we see, Spider-Man, here, we'll show you guys. Spider-Man 2 is a fucking 72. And it came out like what, 13 months later? But see, the original Spider-Man came out a few years later. Right? Spider-Man Remastered, 94. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, 91. This is another thing. This is not all about fanboyism. I think there's a lot of people out there in the community that may not realize it, but you are not connected to the consumer side. You're over cumbersome by by all the fanboy rhetoric. They're just a solid majority. Most of these people that are complaining about shit, people like Coldblood, who he loves PlayStation, he loves talking shit on Xbox, but at the end of the day, he just fucking told you he will leave PlayStation in a minute because he's a consumer. Why the fuck would he get a PlayStation, pay 80 euros for games, AAA games, when if these games are coming to PC, he could go over to PC and pay less than half? It's a consumer argument. It's like, why did I buy this thing? So that's why exclusives are important. It's not people being about fanboys or trying to, I own, or, trying to gatekeep. It's like, no. For instance, guys, any of you that have gone on holiday vacations, say you're looking at two places. One is close, right? One is less expensive. But then you're looking at somewhere else where it's like, oh man, I don't know, maybe Paris. I get to walk the Eiffel Tower, and, enjoy the restaurants that aren't in this local place. Even though the local place is cheaper, it's easier for me to go through, less hassle. There's certain amenities over here I get to enjoy. So you pay the extra money and you go to Paris instead of going to wherever you're at locally. Well, then you get to Paris, Eiffel Tower is closed. All the restaurants, especially that are shut down, all they got is like a Burger King and some of the and a lot of the shit that you got where you currently live at. You're gonna sit there and say, well, fuck, I could have stayed locally, paid less money, and probably would enjoy myself more. It's not about gatekeeping. It's like getting the best bang out of your buck. And when people feel like they've been bamboozled, they will complain. That's what consumers will do. And one last thing I'll say before I move on, kind of also ties into the discussion that we were having last weekend. I think the community has to realize cold blood and not try to false frame everything into, well, you guys are fanboys or whatever. I think what the community has to realize is there are two types of influencers and creators, I think. Influencer type number one wants to take you on a world tour. They want to take you to Paris and take you here and just show you what it looks like and get next to the famous people and just give you an exhibit and then give their thoughts about it. Then there's the content creators that don't want to take you somewhere. They want to give you the best option for you to select where you want to go. So content creator number one might come and take you to Paris and show you all the good stuff in Paris or in Paris. I'm going to take you and I'm going to say, look, there's a whole bunch of shit in Paris that is not good. It's not cool. You know, there's good shit and there's bad shit. I'm putting everything out on the table because I want you to make the decision. My job isn't to just, you know, be connected and show you just the good stuff for these places. I want to show you everything and let you make the decision. We are the latter. Yeah, we have our favorite places, but we're putting everything on the table. And it's not about being fanboys, because just like we told you, at the drop of a dime, if the thing that makes us support a platform or ecosystem goes away, we're going away. But we want to put everything on the table to make you, so you can make the best informed decision. I'm not here to give you a tour. That's the company's job. That's the company's job to give you a tour and show you the shiny side of their product or service. I'm going to put everything on the fucking table for you. Whether you like it or not, they like it or not. So yeah, I just think that the community at Broad, it would help them a lot if they get a better understanding of this. They understood the consumer side of this more. And understand that, you know, a lot of us fit into different lanes. I'm not here to give you a tour. I'm not here to try to look at the positives or the negatives or try to find them. I am here to share the reaction of the consumer and illustrate the consumer trends. If you're a company or an entity that wants to do well, you'll look past all of our shit, motherfucker, bitches, because it's just how we talk. And you'll appreciate what we're doing because it helps connect you to the consumer, where a lot of you may be disconnected from your consumer base. You know what I mean? So.
Bro. The only two things saving PlayStation gamers right now from day and date happening sooner is, first of all, the hardware that these fucking PC dudes have is just not up to par.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And then they don't buy much shit. Those two are the only things saving you right now from every PlayStation game going that day and date.
I do agree. I do. With Hiroki Totoki in charge. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bro, if PC Dudes was buying that motherfucker like 20 million copies each, bro, you think Sony would stay what you call it as a platform? No, they would go multi-plat immediately, bro. Because why risk every time having hardware when you can just have the motherfuckers buy their games in droves?
Well, I will say this. I think they would still develop PlayStations because they make money off of it, and most of their money is made as a marketplace. But I think that, to your point, that their games, once they make them, they would either be day and date on PC or everything would be coming everywhere eventually. You know what I'm saying? If they had no competition. I do think that. Yeah, because they just make too much money selling other people's games. So they're not going to go away. But to people like me and you, we're going to sit there and say, what's the fucking point? Like we're splitting up our money now. Like, thank goodness I got gifted a 4070 Super, but I was looking at upgrading. So we're splitting our money between upgrades on our PC so we can game on it, and then what we invest in PlayStation. If PlayStation goes day and day PC, we ain't got to do that no more. And like you said, particularly in your case, is you guys in Europe are getting ramrodded over these game prices. You're saving money. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so what is, and I think what's saving them, the threat of piracy. Why don't they just do this? And we'll move on. Why don't they just do this? I don't know why these motherfuckers don't listen. And Dr. Spaceman, I don't know if you're listening. We need to get PlayStation on the phone with Dr. Spaceman. Here's why. PlayStation's fucking, now hear me out, y'all, because I know the albatross that cloud gaming has, but PlayStation's 4K cloud gaming is fucking phenomenal. It's only second to GeForce Now Ultimate. And GeForce Now Ultimate, that's all it is. It's about cloud gaming. So PlayStation's doing something, quote unquote, on the side, and they're only second to the, to something that they've built super pods around and did all this shit with, right? PlayStation's 4K cloud streaming is excellent. Coldblood just told you, there's only so many people that have the rigs to play these AAA games. And as you can see what's going on with Spider-Man and some of these recent releases, the PC community, the vocal PC community just wants the game to be there. They're like, haha, the game is here, okay. Fuck you, I don't need a PlayStation. Once they say that, they'll pirate the shit out of the game and it does horribly on Steam. Right?
You know what they do?
What's that?
They pirate the game, make a port review. I hope you know who I'm talking about. And then delete that motherfucker immediately.
Yeah, delete it. Yeah. I mean, and they would probably say, yeah, that's what I do. Unabashed. This, again, here's my theory. And people like Devil Shooter, please, Devil Shooter, don't beat me up in the parking lot for saying this, because Devil Shooter is one of those people that was like, look, I think the gap between PlayStation and coming to PC is too soon as it is. So Devil Shooter been fucking left, right? He still plays PlayStation, but he's been like said, okay, PC's my main, right? But Devil Shooter, don't beat me up when I say this, because this would fuck up your world. I don't think that the majority of PC gamers coincide with what PlayStation is trying to do as a company. Like, PlayStation is in a battle against Xbox financially when it comes to reporting MAUs. They're trying to release top-notch AAA games, you know what I'm saying, that take time and stuff like that and have care with them. And then they're trying to, ensure that they don't give in too easily to piracy. All those things are not the ebb and flow of Steam, right? So if you want to be if PlayStation wants to be successful on Steam, they have to twist and contort against something that is their core. My thing is, if you want to bring your games to Steam, fine. Do what you did with God of War 3 to 4 years later. But if you want my shit on PC under 3 to 4 years, make it available in the cloud, I would say a year after launch. Make it available in the cloud a year after launch. Call it the PlayStation Cloud Store on PC. And yes, you can get my game. If you can't afford a PlayStation or whatever the case may be, and you want to stream our games in 4K for X price a month, and you got to get the game, get it on PC. Now, a lot of the people that'll be vocal, like, oh, cloud gaming, fuck cloud gaming. Those are not your target demo. You will never satisfy those people until you go day and date, and they still might not be satisfied. Fuck them. If you need to increase your revenue, go to the majority. Oh, shit, I fucked. Hold on. Go to the majority, not the minority. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. If you guys get a blip, I have my other PC connected to my capture card. Yeah, just go to the majority. The majority of the people that don't have the rigs to play these games natively. So just give them access to the cloud a year after launch. And that, look, you do it that way, you don't have to worry about piracy because it's in the cloud. And for two, you're not giving up 30%. You're not giving it up. Because they still got to go to the PlayStation Store to buy it. It's just in order for them to play it, they're playing it through the cloud. Those are my thoughts. Paul Games says M2K is still trying to push cloud gaming. Gamers have already spoken on cloud. No, I'm not talking about the majority. I'm talking about those that want to play games on PC under 3 years. If it's 3 or 4 years, I'll make it available on Steam, where I've already surely tapped and dried the console market, and we got enough time to put a sufficient, you know what I'm saying, port out there. And I think at Cold Blood, I think another reason why those games done better after 3 to 4 years, think about it, Cold Blood. Those games are 3 to 4 years old. So by the time they get to PC, you don't need the 4080 or whatever to play. You can play it on older cards. So the longer you wait, the wider the audience becomes. You see what I'm saying? To me, it's a win-win. You don't disparage your console gamers because it's not coming day and date. 2, you're tapping into a market that it's the majority market on PC that don't have the hardware to play your games natively. 3, when you put the motherfucker on there natively, you hit a wider net. You have a wider net and a wider range of people that you can get to play the game, because the game is 4 years old, so they don't need the top of the line cards in order to play it. And it's less likely to be bug written or anything like that. It's a win-win. I don't know what the fuck Sony's thinking, but yeah, if you want to tap into the PC market so bad, do it through the fucking cloud. Do it through the cloud. All the motherfuckers playing banana that got RTX 79s, 790 Ti's or some shit. Yeah, they can play it through the cloud. I bet you don't do a lot better that way than on Steam. Because all these motherfuckers are doing is pirating the game. Like you said, let me do my tech review. Pirate the game, then delete the bitch. All right, let's go to the chat. Shout out to the members. Thank you, as we do weekly. When you're a member, we got to hear what you got to say. There's also a bunch of perks, y'all, in the Discord that we're working on, like members' questions and shit like that. That'll come soon. But let's see what y'all got to say in the chat. If you want us to grab your comments first, definitely become a member. Watching Koba play AC made me want to revisit Ghost and start a new playthrough of Ghost to mix in with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What do you think about that, Cold Blood?
I mean, if that stream didn't make you buy the game and instead go to the better game, I guess that's normal. For Ubisoft game, that's fucking normal behavior, bro. You see their game and you're like, yeah, there's a better game of that that I can play.
We'll get to Assassin's Creed a little bit. I think that'll be an interesting discussion. There was no toxicity in gaming fandom until idiots fell for the banana to tailpipe and praised the 360. Come on, hey yo, Andrew, you gonna stop this goddamn 360 slander? Shout out to Michael Borden. Chew sticking his tongue out at Xbox. Microsoft PC Store is garbage. Absolutely. Also, has anyone seen 1,000 Play Anywhere games that are being offered? It's basically, yeah, that's what it is. It's shovelware. And it was so tone deaf, bro. I feel for Sarah Bond. I don't think she know what she stepped into. Cree, I think it was you who talked to us about having experience with her because of, you were familiar with what she did on T-Mobile. I don't think she know what she stepped into. She has no idea what she stepped into, and everything that she's trying is just totally tone deaf. I don't think she's like Phil is not acclimated to gamers at all. Well, no, I won't say he's liked. He's a likable personality, but Phil isn't acclimated to the consumer objectively. I mean, and all I need is 2 examples because they overshadow everything else. Crackdown 3, with the feedback he was given on Crackdown 3, and then last but certainly not least, the shenanigans he pulled with Redfall talking about, yeah, we have to show Arcane what it means to make a first party Xbox game. You don't know what it means to make a first party Xbox game. You rated the shit double digits higher than what it was on Metacritic. Those, and then there's the DICE thing that he said at DICE at 2018, where he pretty much kissed the ring of PlayStation and said, we want to be like them. Like he's a likable personality who's not acclimated to his core consumers. He has a bunch of fans, people that love his personality, that loves his presentations on gaming. That's why I always argue. I think he would have been great at the ESA, advocating for games, and lobbying for games against politicians, shit like that. I think he's a very effective personality that way. But being head of a consumer product, I just don't think it's his shindig, or one he could be successful at. But yeah, when it comes back to Sarah Bond, she's in over her head. We predicted here, remember, before anything was fucking reported. That's why I don't need to be, I'd rather not talk to these people directly, because like how it was when I was covering Stadia, and by me talking to people actually working on Stadia, and these people meant well, but they were feeding me optimistic stuff. We're working on this, we're working on that. And so when I'm hearing the Google Graveyard guy, I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. This is malarkey. Because I couldn't see it from 5,000 feet. And because they didn't see it either. Because they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I think the disrespect that they were given by someone apparently leaking it to the Google Graveyard guy, it had to be someone high up. You leak it to the Google Graveyard guy, but a lot of your PMs and stuff like, they had no fucking idea. We're sitting there rapping, they have no clue. And then the gavel drops. They're devastated. But that's what happens when you fly. Colin Moriarty did a video talking about flying too close to the sun. That's what happens when you fly too close to the source. Just a whole different perspective. This is why I don't want to talk to these execs. They're not connected to me in a lot of ways. They're just trying to sell a product. So sometimes they line me up and tell me shit that they feel it's their job to tell me shit that's going to help sell the product. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was before I was, because there was different phases in my Stadia coverage. It was just me covering Stadia, just telling people, give it a try. Don't listen to the haters. Just give it a try. If you like it, you like it. You don't. But give it a try. Don't listen to the haters. It went from that to me criticizing them over SG&E and them backing away from me. Then in the final stages of Stadia, through another content creator, I was welcomed again by a certain sector of the Stadia wing. I was welcomed again. And then it was in that third stage where I kind of couldn't separate the forest from the trees, because that was the closest that I ever was to Stadia internally. And I couldn't see what was coming down the pike. That's why I said, I don't want to talk to these execs. If an exec wants to come here, cold blood, they're going to get grilled. I'm not going to be disrespectful. Hey, motherfucker, why y'all release this? But they're going to get grilled. It's going to look like the Fortune magazine interview with Phil Spencer. I think that was one of the greatest greatest gaming interviews ever. As professional as they could be, but they were like, you got to answer to the consumers, bro. That's what it's going to be like. And if they don't come, fine. I don't care, because I get better and more accurate information being on the outside. Don't come. The most accurate information I got covering Stadia was when I was told about the load change porting, and 2, when I was told about Google Games from Cloud, their final phase where they backed away. They said, look, we're not going to resell the Stadia technology. We're doing something new. Both of those pieces of information came when I was on the outs with Stadia, when I was doing what I do now. So that was like a big ass wake up call. When I was in the end and I had people talking to me off air and telling me shit offline, that's when I was my most unaware. You know what I mean? So, JC said, what's up, MM2K in chat? Good to see you, newest member, JC2013. Shout out to you, good brother. He said, oh, broomstick. Oh, we got Purple Haze in the house, Perp. What's going on, Perp? Good to see you. Hypocrites just being hypocrites, nothing new here. He brings it on himself, flip-flopping all the time. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people look at let me give you an example. I gave you an example where me and Cold Blood, if we were debating something and me and Cold Blood were on a different end of it, and let's just say I went out there and I said something stupid. Cold Blood isn't running to my rescue. He's not defending me against it. Now, if somebody got personal and said, tell this punk ass motherfucker to shut up, fly a kite into a thunderstorm, don't do that. And a Cold Blood might come out there and say, don't do that. Who's going to start the podcast? He might say that. But if someone's attacking me for the dumb shit that I said, he's, bro, Cold Blood, if I were to say, Cold Blood, where were you at? Watching everybody attacking you for the dumb shit that you said? Why? Because you said dumb shit and you shouldn't have said it. So my thing is, let's not create these groups or these posses of, oh, well, this person kind of creates content the way that I do, so I got to defend it. No, that does not need to be your knee-jerk reaction. The reaction should be, consumers feel like they were bamboozled this generation. They feel like some people in the community were part of that bamboozlement. All you have to do is personally show why you were or were not. And if you were part of it, apologize for it. You're talking to someone that stood on his sword for almost 2 hours over Stadia. So I did. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. Do it. If you feel like you did do it, apologize for it, move on. If you didn't do it, explain why you didn't do it. But don't fall into the guilty of association trap. Destin, he placates. This is what I'm saying. People need to pay attention to what the fuck is going on. He placates on console war shit, where I will say that some of these other people that get caught up in this whirlwind, maybe not so. Like, he's the motherfucker that stood up there with the 2 logos, the PlayStation logo and the Xbox logo. Remember, over the 1080p in the set? That's a clear play on the console war. He's always throwing shit out there to rally to throw salt out there. Let him die on his own sword. When he gets called out, let him get called out, man. People sure but complaining about PSN requirements, but I had to make an Ubisoft account just to play AC Shadows. I've heard no people complain about that. That is true. That is fair, Phil. That is fair. By all accounts, it's not slobber knockers. Let's take a look at it now. I mean, considering that Ubisoft games outside of Ubisoft Connect, they generally do well on consoles and mainly PlayStation. Like PlayStation is their number one place. Considering that, here, let's take a look. There's now 64,000 concurrents, which I think that beats Odyssey. The user score is going up. That's just Steam. We don't know what it is on Connect. We don't know what it is on PlayStation or Xbox. The game is pulling in more usership typically at least during this launch period than Ubisoft games have been for a while. So a lot of people now have to subject themselves to, like you said, making an Ubisoft Plus account. I don't hear nobody complaining about that. Why ain't nobody complaining about that? Oh, because it's PlayStation. That's what I'm saying. Like, every Xbox game didn't require it, but most of the people that were playing Xbox games on Steam, they were logging into said requirement. They didn't complain about it at all. Not one complaint at all. And it wasn't optional in a lot of these instances. It was mandatory. Nobody complained about it. The moment PlayStation wants to do something, and you know why they're complaining about it. They don't want PlayStation being able to use the MAU argument. They know what the fuck is going on. I mean, some of it is good faith. I don't want to log into something, which I think is a dumb argument. But a lot of it simply is, we know if PlayStation gets to count us, Helldivers 2 people and all these other motherfuckers, that increases their MAUs. We don't want to give them that luxury. That's what it is. Because it's the same people that bitch and whine about PlayStation exclusives. They have nothing to say about fucking Nintendo. Nothing. Oh, that's just Nintendo. Why can't it just be PlayStation? And Nintendo has some of the most revered and heavily sought after games out there. And trust me, if they would have poured a Nintendo game to Steam, a lot more people would be able to play it because of the requirements needed. But y'all bitch about PlayStation. I think that's a great point, Phil Bosch. I'm totally with that one. Michael Morton says, I think it's 14 months. Yeah, I think it should be longer. I just spelled it out. I think it should be 3 to 4 years natively on Steam. I think if you want to play it under that, maximum wait a year, and you can play it through the cloud. 4K 60 is fantastic, and you ain't got to have the bulkiest hardware in order to do it. And then last but not least, day and date on console. Why? Because here's why I say that. I want the best. I want the best scenario. And I'm willing to pay money for the best scenario. And here's the fact of the matter. PlayStation games are the best when they are day one exclusively on a PlayStation console. When they are day one on their proprietary hardware, when the game is designed and made and launched day one to where it only has to target 1 or maybe 2 systems, maybe 3 if it's cross-platform, when it only has to go against 3 configurations, right? If it's cross-platform, 3 configurations, and all 3 of those configurations are PlayStation proprietary hardware, of course the game is going to come out best there. You ain't got to factor in all these different cards and components to scale up, scale. You ain't got to do all that shit. You make the game possible to work day one on 3 maximum hardware configuration if it's cross-platform, right? or should I say 4? Whatever, because PS4, PS4 Pro, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro. 4 configurations. That's all that belongs all to you. The game is going to work best in that scenario, opposed to you make it for those 4 configurations max, and then you got to make it for a whole slew of other shit. There's going to be problems. Fuck, there was problems with Spider-Man 2, and it came out 14 months later. So my thoughts are, make it for the 4 configurations max that belong to you. That's going to make it the best. A year within, and then you take 12 months behind the scenes with your cloud team to tweak and make sure that that performance is there in the cloud, which it shouldn't take you 12 months, but you reassure it, you set a standard. And then between those 12 months to 3 to 4 years, you tweak it for PC. And then you make way more money then. Why? Because you have way more people that can play it, because it's a 3 to 4 year old game. And people and more people can play it, because I don't need the hardware configurations necessary. I don't need those hardware configurations if I were playing in day one. Sony, call me. My schedule's filled, but I'll make room for y'all. Call me. Chris says you can build hardware without being a market leader. AMD exists. Chris Coleman says Steam is what everyone wants to be, and Steam is just a storefront. PlayStation doesn't make enough games to survive off only software like third party does. Owning the platform is the best option 30% every time. He said, I came and I heard my name. Oh, shit. You want PlayStation to go day and date and get comfortable with having to use a PlayStation launcher. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it to do that. I just laid out the best scenario, Jay. I think the best scenario, JC, is day and date. You got 4 configurations on your own proprietary hardware. You know what I'm saying? So he says, I think over time, PlayStation will get better at optimizing for PC, not will shrink the gap. That's possible, Cree. And that's why Cold Blood, I think, properly hints at, look at the gap shrinking, but I don't. Still, I think there's a method behind the madness of PlayStation games playing so well, being so well, even if they get better at optimizing it. Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's even an insult that those third-party games that are exclusive are now also shrinking a lot more than they already were. Okay. In the time, like Stellar Blade, is that a 2-year exclusive?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Or now, how y'all feel about that dude that is making Lost Soul Aside, getting all the funding from PlayStation, and that motherfucker comes out day and date on PC? How y'all feel about that?
I'm gonna be right back. Keep going. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I want to know from chat how they feel about it, because I feel like it's a fucking betrayal. German enforcer. What the fuck you mean by that, Jenna? Are you sure about that, JC? That it's just because they want to reach more people in China, that game has to be day and date? What you mean by bodyguard? I'm not bodyguarding nobody, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Go ahead.
how do we feel about that? Those China Hero projects not being fucking exclusive at this point. Even though they funded that motherfucker almost 100%. How do we feel about that, Moss?
Me personally, when it comes to that, I don't mind that, only because I believe Shuhei. I think Shuhei was telling the truth when he broke it down. He said, "Look, man," in so many words, he said, "We in order for us to make these deals, we got to publish these games on PC because this is where Chinese gamers are at on PC. But the hope is that we start exposing them more and more to the PlayStation ecosystem." And it sounds like that they're trying to cater to them. So they're going to do day and date right now on PC with the hopes of later just getting them to come over to PC. I believe Shuhei in saying that that's their motivation. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm more concerned about their first party shit going over too early. Because if they fund it, it's going to come to console like, you know, well, it's not going to be like Stellar Blade because Stellar Blade had X amount of time on PlayStation beforehand. I mean, I get it. I get the China Hero stuff. That's my opinion. It's just I don't like their first party shit. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, they said, which is why Stellar Blade is being ported so quickly. You are the bodyguard. Laugh all loud, says Jenna Hayes.
Yeah, I don't understand what the hell Jenna means by that.
China is mostly PC, and they're trying to push them to.
Actually, I had a fucking awakening just recently. When I was just scrolling through PlayStation Store. And saw that big ass picture of Forza Horizon 5, I was like, God damn, it's really over.
Yeah.
That bitch being front and center on the fucking PlayStation Store makes the fucking Xbox obsolete. Like seriously obsolete.
Absolutely pointless. Yep.
Like, why even waste your time now? Just announce every other game. Why wait on that shit?
Yeah.
Get your money right now for the pre-orders.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of money from PlayStation probably to develop those fucking ports. Get them out faster. Like, why are we waiting still? Like, one game at a time. Like, that makes no sense.
I think that they think, which I don't agree with this. I think that they think that if they wait and stagger this out, they won't disrupt too many. They'll still have it, they won't hurt their console too much. Because they do need console sales. I mean, not console sales. The console sales are totally fucked. But they still need the console for the bulk of their revenue. Remember, don't believe this bullshit that PC Game Pass and Game Pass and cloud gaming is bringing in most of their money. That's cockamamie bullshit. Most of Xbox's money is coming off of services tethered to the console. That's the Xbox Live, the very first tier that used to be Xbox Live, or the Xbox Game Pass that used to be Xbox Live, right? There's that. There are the Xbox Live services, or the Xbox Game Pass services that are tethered to the console, like Game Pass Ultimate. Because look, if you're on PC, bro, you don't need Game Pass Ultimate. You only need Game Pass Ultimate because you have a console. And if you want to get the games day and date on console, you need Ultimate. It just happens to allow you to play PC games too, but you don't need that if you're on PC. If you have a PC, all you need is PC Game Pass. So Game Pass Ultimate, the tier that used to be formerly Xbox Live, and the 30% that they're making off all the third-party games that they sell, even though they're not selling nowhere near as close as PlayStation, and more importantly, the 30% off of the free-to-play games, DLC and shit like that, Fortnite bucks and all that they get, that's the bulk of their money. That's the bulk of Xbox's money. And they can't just throw that away overnight. And maybe I think they feel like Cold Blood, if we put all these games over here, it's going to throw it away. I don't agree with that, because I feel like the moment that your first party efforts outside of Minecraft and what else was there anything else coming? Outside of once you started like talking about experimenting with games, your hardcore started to leave. Then when you started marketing that more familiar games, Indiana Jones is coming. It's coming to PlayStation. That sent a signal to everybody that, hey, it's like you said, it's truly over. And fuck, I had a choice to make. I selected Xbox because I prefer Xbox games, but it doesn't mean that I wanted to miss out on the PlayStation games. I just had to make a choice. Now, you guys are actually coming to PlayStation as well. That means I didn't have to miss out on these games. Fuck. Those people are already gone. So to your point, they should do this already. Like, do it. The only motherfuckers that are staying are the most diehard people on Twitter. The most diehard brainwashed people that are on Twitter.
I wouldn't say that. It's also people that just bought an Xbox, don't know nothing about a console.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, and the super casual people.
They won't care. Like, they have
care.
Their games they play, and that's it. But holy shit, everybody else is gonna fucking leave next year.
Yep.
Either gone now or next generation.
They ain't coming back. Yeah. It's already over. It's like you might as well make the transition. You can't hurt yourself anymore. The only thing you could do, like you said, Cold Blood, is increase your revenue by selling these games on PlayStation and taking advantage of that oddity. Like I said, you might have people that prefer McDonald's over Burger King, but if they started selling a Whopper at McDonald's, like people would go apeshit, and you would see a surge in Whoppers at McDonald's, because it's like, oh my fucking God, I can get a Whopper at McDonald's? Holy shit. They would buy the Whopper and then they would go back to just buying the Big Mac. But the fact that the Whopper is there in front of a bigger audience would help Burger King sell those Whoppers. So I just think that PlayStation is what's going to keep your lights on. Just put the games over there. I mean, and I'm not saying that like I'm gonna play them. Like I got PC. I don't think that they're that good. Out of all the games that were on Game Pass that I really was like, holy shit, I'm glad this is on Game Pass. Stalker 2. You know what I'm saying? Stalker 2. That's it. Are there other games I'm gonna try? Sure. But the only one that's proven itself to me is Stalker 2. I could have bought that motherfucker on PC. I mean, I could have bought that motherfucker on Xbox. I mean, on PlayStation when it comes to PlayStation. But whatever. I have it now on PC Game Pass and whatever. So I just don't think.
I have to agree with you on that because that's the only game I got anywhere near 60 hours in.
Yeah. I mean, and like Cold Blood, it was like kind of, in my opinion, it was like forecasted. Oh, out of all this, I hate to say it, slop that they keep rolling out, this is the game. Now, I get it. Avowed, scratched an itch for people. But when I saw Indiana Jones and all this other, even Indiana Jones, when I saw the fighting in that shit, I said, yeah, this was like a cheap, aesthetically pleasing in areas Unity game. That's what it looked like to me. But, yeah, I knew Stalker 2. Go ahead.
I might have bad news. I don't know.
Oh shit. Oh shit. What's that?
My internet provider just cut my internet down 10 times.
What?
Yep. But it's 10 times slower now. The only hope I have right now is that my upload is the same and that's not gonna fuck up the streams. But the download rate is from a gigabit down to 100 mbits, bro.
What?
Yep. They just did that.
Are they just targeting you, or is it like a downgrade in the service?
I have no fucking idea. All of a sudden, I was like, hey, let me test that out. I didn't test out my internet speeds for a while, and I didn't restart my router for a while. I look at the motherfucker on their site, and it tells me my contract now is only 100 mbits per second.
Oh,
maximum.
Well, that's definitely gonna fuck with 4K streams.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the upload speed is the same.
Okay. That sucks, dude.
Oh, brother. Tomorrow they're gonna hear the most fucking mad I was in a while.
That's crazy.
Like, what the fuck? They don't even tell me, yo, your fucking contract is gonna be downgraded now.
Yeah, you can't do shit like that. Hopefully it's just something going on.
Well, I looked at my banking shit, what they took from me. I guess they took only what this fucking contract is worth, but they did not tell me that they're just gonna change that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hell no.
Yeah,
100 mbits per second was maybe good 15 years ago.
Yeah. And
what the fuck?
I would argue, see, we got this place over here called the PUC, or not the PUC, the Better Business Bureau. I know you guys got a whole bunch of shit like that over there too, where you call them and be like, look, I want my money back for even that month. Why do you want your money back? Because I paid for this. Who said I even fucking wanted that from you? Who said that if you wouldn't have told me in advance that this was the fuck you was gonna give me, that I would have still stayed on to your service? Give me my fucking money back. And if they try to argue, you can call the Better Business Bureau, and then they'll get on their ass and get them to refund you for that month. Yeah, that's bullshit.
No, first of all, I'm gonna call the one that is normally responsible for all this shit when I do my internet stuff and mobile shit, and I first gotta call her.
Yeah. Okay.
And tell her the fuck you doing. Like, I specifically told you I do not want a fucking downgrade. Like, yeah, it's good that I pay less money now, but that's not what I want from this internet shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
bruh, this is the only time I would be agreeing with you on cloud gaming might be better than fucking internet when it comes to patches and shit. Like, holy fuck.
Oh, God.
It's gonna take me way longer now to just download some stuff.
Jesus Christ. GeForce Now done heard our podcast and shit like, yeah, bottleneck his internet.
No, bro, Google heard us.
I'm looking at, because I wanted to see something. That's fucked up. Yeah, dude. I would be spitting larva right now on those motherfuckers. I'm looking at something interesting, y'all. And I promise we're going to get to these topics real quick, but I was looking at something, and so you get the fuck out of here. I don't want to chat with nobody at Xbox. So Forspoken shadow dropped on Xbox, right? Because I just saw a tweet where someone was like, "Oh, Forspoken is underrated" or something like that, right? And I don't feel like it was an excellent game or a fantastic game. I think it was a good game that kind of got roughed
wait
up a little bit.
Wait a second. An Xbot says the game is underrated now. Is that what you're telling me?
I think this is, and hold on, let me see. I don't know.
Because if this is an Xbot that told us Forspoken is dog shit in 2023 and now says it's underrated, I call cap.
I'm trying to find.
Seriously, cap.
I'm trying to find if I can see. Oh no! It's a PlayStation cat. It's a PlayStation cat. I thought it was a
Okay.
But
because I was about to go ballistic on these motherfuckers. Hell no! You're gonna say no? That shit is underrated.
Oh, well, they did the same thing to Death Stranding, bro. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, they didn't get away with it, bro. We making fun of them motherfuckers daily for this shit.
I was just curious because I said I wonder how well it's doing on Xbox, and why did Xbox do this? They don't have anything past, like, when you go to their games and you look for most played, they only have a top 50. And they don't go past 50 anymore. But I don't see. I'm looking at their lists, and holy fuck, these motherfuckers. They don't. Oh my god, it's like full of free to play / Game Pass. Like, I do see 2K25. Like, the sports games do well on Xbox. So 2K25, or I won't say they do well, but they rank. But outside of Monster Hunter Wilds, which is like, what, 20th or no, 15th.
Isn't it actually weird that Microsoft never even tried to make a sports game?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they never. Yeah, that is
like
weird.
Even Sony has one with MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Look. They see always 2K and everything on the top of their list, right?
Yep.
So why in the fuck did they never get a license for a fucking sports game? And make a shit ton of money, bro?
I don't know, bro.
Like, it dawned on me when you said it. Like, why the fuck did they not do that?
The most they'll do racers, but that's it. Like, they won't. Yeah, outside of racers,
bro,
which is niche now.
Forza Motorsport is dog shit, bro. Like Gran Turismo is the only thing out there that is somewhat official with how the whole sports thing goes with these car games.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, Motorsport is dog shit in comparison to that. No, but why did they never try their own fucking hockey game or I don't know, fucking
football or basketball game? Yeah, I don't know. That is very interesting, bruh. That is very interesting. I can't tell you because I can't tell you, but I will say that them not trying it now just proves that they don't have the desire. Because in order for you to do that, you got to plug a lot of money into said games, right? Now, granted, EA has the hold on football games. I don't think 2K has a hold on. I think other people can make basketball games. And the fact that they don't want to compete just shows the nature that they're in. I think they're trying to hit a AA, like Matt Booty revealed years ago. They want to give you AA games with AAA polish. And I don't think that's a problem within itself. Here's what I think the problem is. You're charging $70 for this shit. It's still a AA game. Why are you charging $70? Like Xbox should charge $50 for these games, and only $70 that should be charged is what Call of Duty and I don't know. I'm guessing Gears E-Day. Gears, you know, if a Gears or a Halo or a Forza game comes out where they really are attempting something AAA, but games like Avowed and Indiana Jones, those are $50 games. In no way, shape, or form should they be charging $70 for that dog shit. No way. Like fucking Avowed. I'm sorry, Avowed is the single player version of Elder Scrolls Online. It's a better looking Elder Scrolls Online that's single player. That's $50. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking $50, bro. So I don't know, man. Jesus Christ, I'm just looking at their holy fuck. Like the top 20 is the top 20 everywhere. But god damn, once you get out of that top 15, top 20, like, you know, on PlayStation, you start seeing games. Out here. Holy shit. The fuck?
Boss, look in your DMs.
Oh, let me see something. Holy fuck.
This might be something.
Huh? Oh shit. Hold on.
Is the next KO punch coming?
Oh shit, they heard you. They were like, well, Cold Blood already. Listen to Cold Blood. Hashtag listen to Cold Blood. Oh, wouldn't that be funny as hell? Oh shit.
Show the chat what I sent you.
Yeah, no. I got it up here on the screen now. Keep eyes here tomorrow. Oh my god, hey bro! And somebody said there was a tweet. Did you see that tweet where somebody was like, "Yeah, they're announcing Starfield on PlayStation tomorrow." I actually saw that tweet earlier today. Was it Zuby Tech? I think it was Zuby Tech. Let's look.
I don't know.
I think Zuby, yeah, because I go ahead.
I saw that on my timeline. Was like, damn, Moss didn't even talk about it.
I just saw it from Zuby Tech, and I was like, I don't know if it's true. Nothing against Zuby Tech, but maybe it wasn't Zuby Tech. It was somebody had put out there. Somebody had put out there. Oh, that's fucking funny, bro. Oh shit. Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. Hold on, let me see if I can find the tweet. Yeah, somebody earlier this morning had put out there. Yeah, Bethesda, but I think they had predicted it before this tweet. They might even put it out there last night.
Someone also asked in chat, I forgot, maybe it was Jenna, if we get first Berserker Kazan.
I don't know. Have you? I didn't play the demo yet.
I did.
Oh, you did? What'd you think of it? Oh, you beat? Oh, what'd you think?
I mean, it was good. I didn't see nothing wrong with it, but it's just a demo, right? Like, you don't see much of the game. There's just a few bosses.
Oh, come. Wouldn't that be some shit? If when this, well, we already know Starfield is going to look better on the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Did you see this shit where that one motherfucker apologized for misquoting the Square Enix president on?
Yep, I saw that too.
Flopping?
Yep.
Remember what we talked about way before he fucking apologized for this shit?
Yep.
That he was full of shit, bro.
Yeah.
we said it. We
Yep.
said it before he apologized.
Yeah.
And now after it's whatever, now he's apologizing. Fuck you, bro.
After it's all, yeah. Here's what you guys got to understand. And I like analyst groups like Ampere. I like them. And this kind of relates to John Welford. People think I'd be attacking folks. I'm not attacking them. It's just like at some point in time, you got to apply your common sense and you got to learn from your mistakes, right? Like I've had to learn from my mistakes. It becomes a humbling nature of you when you're doing this that you got to instill or you're going to affect your brand. Shout out to John Welfare, right? He's one of the guys that does a lot of, analyst work and stuff like that. So remember the whole thing with when AMD came out and solidified that PlayStation had sold over 75 million. Because AMD said, yeah, we sold you 75 million chips, so we can confirm this, and congratulated them after they made their statement, and then said we've sold, and then also confirmed that they sold 100 million chips to date, right? Or they shipped 100 million chips a day. So that got Xbox, that had Xbox at like 25 million. And John Welford was like, no, because Ampere Group said this and said that. Look, man, these, don't get me wrong. Analyst groups try really hard to like figure shit out, right? But they were wrong last gen. We remember when Z and the Broadband Bullies brought on John Petty from the John Petty Institute. He was another guy that dealt specifically in AMD chips and reporting that information. He came on the show, told you how many chips were sold and shipped, and had the Xbox number at a very low number, and people were mad at it. We even had people like Z Huge that was going on Reset Era. Like, people were DMing me like, you guys got it wrong, because even Z Huge said it. I'm like, you guys, and because I do this for a living. Analyst people are only as fucking good as the algorithm or the program that they're running. I'll say this. This doesn't put me at risk. I am only employed where I'm employed at, doing the shit that I do, because nobody else has been able to create a program, an analyst program that is precise as the one that I built over a decade ago. They done sent it to Chennai. They done all types of shit to try to replicate this program, and they can't fucking do it. So that's why I'm employed. That's why I'm able to work from home a couple hours in the morning while I'm doing that bullshit. Well, before my schedule changed, bullshit around, do gaming content for the rest of the day. The analyst is only as good as the programs that they have. And normally an acceptable error rate percentage is like 4%. But after we crunched the math from John Petty and what Z Huge was popping over at Reset Era and what people was, these motherfuckers were all 15%, bro. So I already knew just from last gen that the analyst world over when it came to games, a lot of their shit was wrong. It was well off the margin and error of 4%. It was wrong. Now, I don't know what Circana, this is not me talking about Circana or what Matt, I don't know where Matt and stuff gets his sources from. They have seemed accurate, so I'm not talking about them. But I'm talking about a lot of these other groups that people like, shout out to John Welfare, were reporting. So he made videos and shit. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Look, man, the AMD people gave you the fucking numbers. Xbox is doing horribly wrong, horribly low. They were wrong last gen when John Petty came on the show, broke the numbers down, told you what the fuck it was. Y'all were like, but our analysts program say this. And then John Petty released another report after the fact. AMD came out after the fact and proved all that shit wrong. I got all the fucking receipts. If you're a member, you would have seen that podcast. You got to take what these analysts say with a grain of fucking salt, man. Take it with a grain of salt. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say that about Circana because Matt Piscatella's data, from what I've seen, seems accurate. I can't say that about them, but a lot of these other firms, even Ampere to a certain degree, some of their shit be off. Why? Because Xbox don't want you to know what the fuck's going on. That's probably the only thing that Xbox has been good at is hiding shit. And I'll also tell you that another reason why these analyst firms were trying to shoot down what what John Petty was saying is because they sell this shit in reports. Like if I wanted to get Ampere's reports every month, I got to pay like anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 a month just for access to these reports. So they sell these reports to different companies and shit like that primarily. And if the companies knew how off these numbers could potentially be, at least on the gaming side, they would be fucked. So that's another reason why they're going to sit there and argue you down. But like Cold Blood just illustrated, look how long they waited to tell you. And they dropped it on like a Saturday night when everybody's at the theaters and shit. Like they wouldn't be paying attention. You got to be very careful with a lot of these analyst groups and what they project and what they predict. A lot of them be spot on, but some of them be wrong. And they clearly were wrong here. And they misunderstood shit and took 77 years to come out and say it. I know personally they were wrong because of the data that we were given by John Petty versus the shit that they were saying. Oh no, this ain't right. I do this for a living. So you motherfuckers think I just get on this mic and I'm just saying shit. And you guys think that Cold Blood just pulls shit out of his ass. The reason why we have a great track record here is because we recognize patterns well, we do our research, but we know we recognize patterns and we know what people are prone to do. I'm able to do that because my brother's been able to do that just from playing games and in the research or the knowledge that he has. I'm able to do that because I do this for a living for another company. So I know when I hear certain buzzwords or when I see certain actions, I know what companies are doing, or I may know the deficiencies. Like I was saying in my conversation that I had last week, and I believe it was, I was saying that Phil Spencer talks about shit when it's in flight. You can tell he talks about shit when it's in the planning phase. He's so excited over the idea that he goes and he publicly talks about it when everything has not been secured. So when the project, it's time for the project to land, where it's no longer in flight and it's time to roll it out, either they have to scrap it because it's no good, or it's completely different it looks completely different from what Phil said he was going to give you, because he talks out of turn. I can tell that because I work with people that make that mistake. The only difference is competent companies let those motherfuckers go. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep talking too early, you keep fucking up expectation, you keep bringing us reputational risk, you gotta go. So yeah, I look, man, I don't have no time to lie to y'all. I'm not. It's not like our super chat and our members is dinging every 5 seconds, and you know what I'm saying, or we're getting like 30 game codes a day. There's no reason for me to lie to you. If anything, this is consumer advocacy mixed in with some entertainment. We ain't got to fucking lie to you. What is lying to you? What does that do for Cold Blood? Hey, Cold Blood, how fat is the check that you get from this?
A whole pack of ass.
Like, what are we getting for lying to you guys? And then, especially every time we tell you guys something, it comes out. It happens. What we tell you, it happens. I get nothing from lying to you. Nothing at all. Angie Wilkins. I love Angie, man. Hey, Andrew, at first, your 360 hate bothered me. I'll be honest, because I love my 360, but I love it now, man. He said, is that a pic of Troy Baker in an indie release dates? Oh, that could be. Oh, you know what? Is that Troy Baker? Maybe it is Indiana Jones's release date being released. Maybe that's what it is. Bethesda been flip-flopping for a while now. PlayStation won't save their bum ass. Oh shit. Oh, we got Trucknet. He came up in Trucknet says, Phil, and we need an NFL and the MLB game from 2K Sports. Welfare be thinking he is the Ann Seltzer of video games tracking. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he gets access to his data. I don't know if he's actually paying for these reports, because he reports movement all the time. Like, he even breaks down Walmart's movement and shit. Whatever. But it's all analyst data. It's all projections. Like, they get these numbers from these stores. Let me give you a prime example. All right. So say Walmart is a participating data analyst group where they'll give you an estimate of their sales for consoles. Now, we got another store chain around here, smaller store chain. They're called Video Game Exchange. Most gamers now locally go through Video Game Exchange when they're buying their console, opposed to going to a Walmart or a Best Buy. Video Game Exchange around here locally, they push a lot of shit, right? Why? Because they have a points program where if you trade in games or you buy shit new, you build up your points and you can trade your points in to buy shit. You know what I'm saying? They have basically a rewards program. So Video Game Exchange does a lot of sales. Now, maybe I'm being too overzealous in saying they do more, but I think they sell a lot of consoles. They sell a lot of shit out of Exchange. A lot of games, a lot of consoles. I don't think stores like that, even, I don't know about Exchange particularly, but we have a few stores like that. Stores like that, like we got the Exchange, we got another one called Record something. Stores like that, they don't share numbers with Sakana or any of these analyst firms. So Sakana and these analyst firms, they have to guess. That's part of their their algorithm is guessing the numbers that are flowing through stores like that. And here in the United States, we got a shit ton of stores. Now, I don't know globally how many stores there's like that, but then there's also stores like in other regions where maybe there's not a factory that sells PlayStation games there, so they got to import them and then they resell them. So there's a lot of data that's happening that these stores don't get access to. I mean, that these data farms don't get access to, so they got to make guesstimates. They use high speed or high intelligent algorithms or whatever to make a guesstimate. But at times it can be off. You nudge it left or right a little bit. Trust me, I know, because like I said, the programs that I created years ago, they got teams in Chennai that can't duplicate the accuracy. And technically, I can't duplicate the accuracy the way I want it to be, because they want to create something that's automatic, that all you do is at the end of the week, look at a report and just cross-reference the report. The way I made it, it still requires manual intervention, but not that much. And they want to eliminate the manual intervention, and they have no way of doing it based upon everything that they want to do. So I don't know what it is that they're doing as far as how they built their programs. But for some reason, just like last gen, they're off, apparently. And they're off. A lot of them are off. I won't say all of them are off. A lot of them are off because Xbox is being quiet, and maybe their algorithm is not fine-tuned to account for these non-participating stores. So I don't know what to tell you, but there's no better source than the manufacturer of said product themselves. I'm sorry. Even when it comes to Sakana's not going to be able to tell you with more accuracy than PlayStation how many units they have pushed. So if it's PlayStation, Xbox, or AMD giving you the numbers, they are going to be the most accurate. Sorry. And again, I'm kind of leaving Sakana out of this because I have no evidence of them being inaccurate. But I've seen other. Oh yeah, they've definitely been inaccurate. They were inaccurate last generation. So I don't know if Sakana does things as different, but back when it was NPD, they would poll the distributors of smaller retailers instead of those smaller retailers directly. Okay, that's cool. And that's probably why their information is a little bit better. Because like I said, out of all the analysts that I know, I haven't seen Sakana or NPD when they were being off. And they probably use the same metrics. So, all right. Guys ready to move on? Let's move on. Let's talk about Xbox news. Let's talk about Xbox news. All right. So I think, do I have a, I think I have a link. Do I have a link to that? I thought I had a link to that. So Xbox is going to make new hardware cold blood. And it's been said that the new Xbox hardware is going to simply be a display friendly PC. There's also been leaked UI showing a Steam tab in the description portion of this. I've already shown everybody the clip about people saying, "Oh, now we're concerned," even though I thought Games Everywhere was great, right? But we already showed you that clip from Destin. Cold Blood, what are your thoughts on this new? Well, no, I do have something from Jamie's act, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Hold on, and I thought I bookmarked it, and I didn't. It was hilarious to me. I think Jamie's act had it. Let me see if I can. Look at that, you following the troll. Like I said, it's not the information, the way it's presented might be a little antagonizing. Maybe it was Oliver. I think it was Oliver. Oliver Dorco. I got to get better at. Okay, so now I can't find Oliver Darko. I bet you I can find him here. So stupid. Yeah, for some fucking reason, got him here. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Here it goes. All right, so Xbox era, Nick Sheppel and was talking to somebody about the Xbox handheld and the possibilities of PlayStation block, not Xbox handheld, the Xbox console or hardware, whatever you fucking call it, and the possibilities of PlayStation blocking their games.
Sony could easily just say.
So let's listen to this. Let's listen to what he has to say, and then Coldblood, I want to know what you think about this. I'm back in. Hold on. Here we go.
These Steam DB charts, you know, I feel like is the most important thing to a lot of publishers and hardware makers. Like, if your game is on the Steam DB charts somewhere, you know, that's number one. So, but again, honestly, it could go either way on this one. I'm not trying to sit on the fence. I think it's
it's all new, so we just don't know.
It's an interesting conversation because yeah, you're right. Sony could easily just say, no, we don't want that. Get that off. Get that stuff off Xbox. We don't want it.
That's what I mean. Like again, and I'm not trying to be a smartass or anything like that, but Sony still firmly. I don't know if this is the right phrase, but Sony still firmly believe in the console wars. They still believe in the console as the be-all and end-all. They still see the value in the console. They still believe in all that sort of stuff. Rightly or wrongly, I don't care. I'm not talking... It's not my opinion one way or the other on that. But Sony themselves has said the console is still the focus. They want to give you reasons to buy the console. If there was a future Xbox console, not an Asus partner product, I'm talking about an Xbox console or a handheld hybrid, whatever, and it has the ability to play my Steam and Epic library, which therefore means I can play my PlayStation games on this Xbox. Why on God's green earth would anyone buy a PlayStation? Like, think about it. I'm not trying to be a smartass here, but if you think about it logically, if this Xbox device that is made by Xbox and plays my OG Xbox games, my 360 backwards compatible games, Xbox One, Series games, Steam, Epic, all of that, and those Steam and Epic games thereby include all those PlayStation games, why on God's green earth would anyone buy a PlayStation?
And you see why Microsoft's trying to do what they're doing, but also all the partner hardware is the exact same. It all plays everything. Like, that's the whole point of it. The Xbox OS hardware is the exact same as the Xbox. It just can be better and more expensive.
Okay, cool.
Bro, I got a brain aneurysm from this.
Break it down, brother.
If I can play my PlayStation games on anything but a PlayStation, why would anyone get a PlayStation? That is his question, right? Well, the Rock Ally exists. You can play anything on that motherfucker if you want to.
Exactly.
So, why aren't you doing it right now?
Yep.
Or why are people still buying a PlayStation while that motherfucker exists?
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
And then comes the, how strong is this handheld gonna be?
Exactly.
Is that bitch even gonna get close to 4K? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It probably won't even come close to 4040p at full fidelity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck was his point right now? That if there's a device that can play his PlayStation games, he doesn't need a PlayStation. Is that the whole point? What he was trying to say?
I guess what they're talking about is, I guess if there's another box. Excuse me. Remember, and there's so much confusion out here. Nobody knows but I guess there's another rumor that Xbox might actually have a box that's a PC. That's PC, like a Steam box. Their Steam box. And they're saying that if your Steam box can play if your Xbox Steam box can play PlayStation games, why the fuck would you buy a PlayStation? I think that's their question.
Why the fuck did people buy Xbox then? For the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The same question.
Yeah.
And then comes exactly that. Well, most of these people can't afford a PC, and those handhelds wasn't strong enough back in the day, and now they're still not strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes the reasonable thought out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if nobody on this podcast even tried to question his ass, then he's just gonna throw this out of the room and get away with it, unquestioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why, bro. I hate those podcasts where it's just a fucking a bubble.
Jerk. Yeah. Like a circle jerk. Yeah.
Because if you tell me something I don't like, bro, I will immediately tell you. Trust me. I ain't gonna.
We do it all the time.
I ain't gonna shut up.
Yeah, we do it all the time. We might do it again in the show.
The only thing I hate more than PlayStation going day and date is people lying about it.
Yeah.
In any way.
Mm-hmm.
And that motherfucker just straight up lied that yeah, I can play all my PlayStation games on that device.
Exactly.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
For no, you definitely can, because they does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, like I said, most people prefer to have a console at home on their fucking TV. Just turn the motherfucker on and play a game. Not care about nothing else. Yeah. That is the next thing. Is this Xbox gonna be the same way?
Mm-hmm.
Because if that motherfucker is a PC, you're gonna have problems with it.
Yeah.
Bitch. You're gonna have the same driver problems, the same incompatibility problems that a PC has.
Yep.
Nobody talks about that because that's bad news. Nobody wants bad news right now from Xbox. Only positive.
Well, what about the price? Like you said, like if Michael, why wouldn't
try an Xbox for $700 and above, and you are fucking dead. You are so dead.
Yeah. Oh god.
You are dead to 99% of the people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, $700 Xbox that cannot get 4K.
It does
60.
not matter, bro. It doesn't matter if it's a PC or not for $700. Nobody's gonna buy a fucking Xbox.
$700 Xbox. Well, it can play your Steam games, and it can play your Epic Store games. That's the argument. It can play all these things.
Yeah, so can every other fucking device that has Windows on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So can these fucking handhelds. You look, here's my problem with this theory. And I get to where Nick was trying to say that he doesn't think that PlayStation would allow it. And I agree with that part. But
can PlayStation even do something about it if it's just a fucking game downloaded to a device?
They could. They would be able to say on this device, we don't want this game to be allowed on this device, because they already do it with God of War and GeForce Now.
Bro, and you think these fucking pirates ain't gonna find a workaround?
Oh yeah, they'll find, yeah, they'll pirate it and they'll find a way around it. But the average quote unquote console gamer that would supposedly flock to this, they're not gonna have the temperament or the know-how in order to do it. So Sony would block it. Like, and even with Sony blocking GeForce Now, you can use Boosteroid, but Boosteroid is so non-mainstream, even on the cloud sphere, that Sony just ignores it right now. And Boosteroid realizes that that's the way that you can play Sony games on Boosteroid is through their install method, which they realize you shouldn't. If you happen to already own the game, great. But as far as buying a game to simply install it, understand that if they get a phone call in the middle of the night and someone says, remove access to that game, you're losing access to that game. So I've interviewed them multiple times and they've been very clear on that.
Where's Papa Hayes when we need her?
She was here.
Because wait, you start talking about Boosteroid, Papa Hayes should be here. she should destroy your ass for even mentioning this platform.
You know what? I like Boosteroid as a service, as it being around, and I think they're cool people. Just at the moment, for my personal takes, I think GeForce Now meets my personal takes. But because of that install method, I get it. Where some people will be like, look, man, there are some games like the PlayStation games that come to PC. Boosteroid will get them, put them in the install method, and I want to play them. You know what I'm saying? And if you got the 4K 60 tier of Boosteroid, I mean, I don't think it's as good as GeForce Now, but I think it's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's decent. It's decent. Some of the latency and some of the hiccups I got, I was like, this isn't GeForce Now, but it's not bad. It's not horrible. Yeah, I think they're cool, but again, they're not at a level. They're not at a mainstream enough level where Sony really gives a shit right now. The moment, and this is why I tell people that if you have Boosteroid and you like being able to access these Sony games, be very careful promoting this, because Sony's petty. As soon as this gets too much traction for Sony's liking, they're going to pull the plug on it. And Boosteroid already let you know that this install method service is not secured. You know what I'm saying? So don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Y'all need to be very careful about how y'all talk about this. You know what I mean? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But anyway, yeah, they already do it with GeForce Now. Go ahead. What did you say?
That is the definition of suffering from success.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're successful now. Fuck you, blog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're successful enough. Get the fuck out of here. And GeForce ain't playing. They already almost, went the way of the dodo bird when they first went public and everybody yanked their games off the platform. They're not going through that again. So they're not fucking around. Sony was like, for those people that were able to get access to God of War within that limited time window, Yeah, you can enjoy God of War anywhere except on Xbox. It knows when you are logged into Xbox through the browser, it knows.
Yeah, okay, but how the fuck do they gonna know if this is just a PC playing a game?
Because I'm guessing that they would have like hardware IDs and shit like that. And based upon the hardware ID, they're going to use that because, you know, all these Xboxes would have a specific hardware ID. So,
Bro, those motherfuckers are gonna come up with a fucking program that's just gonna tell.
oh yeah, they're gonna come up with a way. Yeah, I
tell,
mean,
tell
but
the,
again,
tell the game this is a Steam Deck. This is a Steam Deck.
but they're not gonna allow it though. That's you're gonna have people that are, you know, they're probably, you know, they're not gonna allow it. But just like you have people that are ripping off Wii games, I mean not Wii games, but Nintendo games and playing them on PC. I mean, you're never, if it's a native title, you'll never get away. Like we were, you know, when we were arguing with Corey Massey and he was talking about the reason why they had to put this out here so soon is that there's a build of so-and-so games from the Insomniac leaks and it's just as good as, you know. And I'm like, dude, hardly anybody, you know about it, Corey, maybe the programmers, hardly nobody knows about this shit. They don't care about it. And trust me, I know. I come from Merck. I come from the early days of Merck, early 2000, where, you know, I know a bunch of PC pirates, you know, so, but yeah, man, they would do it. They would definitely do it. So yeah, I agree with Nick there that they're not going to allow it. Now, will people work around it? Sure, but they're not going to allow it. I totally disagree with him on the reason, you know, people won't buy a PlayStation. Look, number one, the biggest thing to me is what is going to be the price point for this box? So if you're telling me your value proposition is I get PlayStation games later, I get an unoptimized PlayStation game later, 14 plus months later, on an overpriced, underpowered box, or I just get a PlayStation. Again, you guys are thinking in the terms of access. Gamers don't care about access. This is where, again, these people that are too close to the source, people like Nick, your thought process behind this is too muddled. And mine was muddled too, because I used to listen to guys like Nick and whoever, where they were too close to the source. You don't understand the average consumers. Like when me and Porter Rock were going back and forth over the Xbox One X, and Porter Rock was like, no. These theories that you're saying are coming from marketing. And I get you have marketing background, all that, MM. I'm warning you. The Xbox One X is not going to close the gap for Xbox. People would have to forego their library. They don't care about this, that, and the other. And we're being told, no, it's tax season in the States and this and that. And he's like, no, it's going to get worse. Please don't, like he was begging me, please don't bet me. But I bet him anyway. And I lost. And it was to the point to where I think he was disgusted with them. It's nothing that he could sulk about because he just knew that the thought process was ignorant, for lack of a better term, ignorant, if we're being honest, really. And it wasn't tethered to the consumer. And I had to learn. He was absolutely right, because the way he was thinking about it was the way that the consumer thinks about it. Here's what Special Nick's problem is. He, like many others that think the way that Phil thinks, hence why they keep promoting Phil and giving him the benefit of the doubt, where we won't, is because they think that the average gamer wants access. The average gamer does not give a fuck about access. The average gamer cares about the titles that are most important to them. and they care about the latest craze, and they're hyper fixated on that. And I hear a lot, well, the kids this and the kid. For those of you, you make the mistake. For those of you that are gamers that do what we do, and you have kids in your house, guess what? You grew up as a gamer, and you've passed that down to your family. Like my daughter's a big time gamer. You know what I'm saying? Cause she used to stand in the lines with me during midnight release. Of course, my two youngest, which are my sons, they're definitely gamers. But every child was not raised in a household like that. The household they were raised in is if the parents played games, they only played the games that they hunkered down in, Call of Duties or whatever, and that translates to that's how they interact with gaming. Data has shown when we keep talking about these kids, maybe our kids care about access, but the average kid still clings to a console, still is not all about access. They want to play the latest games that are the most popular, that's it. Where they are the most popular, that's it. The average gamer, 48% of gamers buy 0 to 2 games a year. 48% of gamers buy 0 to 2 games a year. It's like 5 to 15% of gamers buy either 1 game a month or maybe a little bit of more than that. 5 to 15%. So you have another 30-some% that's like kind of in between that. The majority of gamers don't do what we do. They don't care about access. Why do you think Game Pass has hit a brick wall and is not reaching its projections? Because gamers don't give a fuck about playing a whole, the average gamer doesn't give a fuck about playing a whole bunch of games. They may be enticed by the exclusive content. Oh, I might try that out. I might try that. Oh, I might try this out. They might try that. And maybe they do. Maybe they never pick it up. But gamers, the average gamer does not care about it. You know what exclusives do? Exclusives bring in the hardcore who influence the mainstream. That's basically it. Because the mainstream ain't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick up God of War. You might get within a generation, you might have 20 million God of War sold. Guess what? By the end of that generation, there'll be 120 fucking million PlayStation sold. That's 100 million people that didn't pick up God of War. The majority of gamers don't do what we do. Stop flying too close to the source. Not flying too close to the sun is something different. You guys fly too close to the source and you're listening to their marketing rhetoric. And I know I do this for a living. Sometimes these companies have junk data. They oversaturate themselves with these theories and this data, and they're reading it wrong, and they go down this wrong course, and they're taking y'all with them. Everything that Xbox told you, every projection, every piece of data, everything they told you about the habits of gamer, they were fucking wrong. Under Phil Spencer, they were wrong. Nothing they said panned out the way that it is today. Go back to 2014 when Phil Spencer was telling you gamers are going to do this, gamers will do that. Look at what it is, the state of gaming 11 years later. It's nothing like he says it is. It was all fucking wrong. Tell me where he was right. It was all wrong. And that's not me being an asshole or a jerk. I'm just telling you the truth. Where was he right? He may reflect after the fact and may, well, yeah, I mean, we lost the worst generation to lose, which I don't even think he's entirely right on that. Because a lot of this shit is cross-generation anyway. And look, You didn't lose the worst generation to lose. You just underperform consistently, and your brand stinks to gamers. Because if it was all about we lost the worst generation to lose, you wouldn't be seeing this mass exodus from Xbox. People would say, well, no, I just can't leave Xbox because, I invested so much in the games that Phil said was so important. I can't go to PlayStation even though I want to. No! All that shit you can carry over. It's cross-platform, cross-save, all that shit. It doesn't matter. You just underperform as a brand. That's the problem with these guys, and they can't see it. You fly too close to the source. Stop falling for their junk data and the rhetoric. It was all fucking wrong. Fool me once, shame on you, but at some point in time, goddamn, shame on me. Gamers don't care about access. If they did, Game Pass would be at 100 million subscribers. Why don't they care about access? Because gaming is not static, it's dynamic. That's another false framing that you guys do. You compare, and Phil does it too. They compare this to Netflix and music. When me and my wife just watch Hellbound on Netflix. Once we've seen season 1 of Hellbound, we're done with it. Unless we got to catch up on something. We're done. That's what most people do. They watch a season or an episode, then they move on. That's why binging videos, movies, and at times music is a little bit different. But binging videos and movies and stuff like that, and at times music makes sense because once you've absorbed it, for the most part, you're done with it. Except for, like I said, music's a little bit different. So you got to move on to the next one. Okay, I binged that show, so I'm moving on to the next one. I binged that one, then move on to the next one. Because it's static. Once I've seen season 1 of Hellbound, I've seen it. It's done. It's time to move on to the next one. Gaming is different. If I'm not 48%, I fucking buy Call of Duty, I buy Madden, and every time I boot up, whether I'm playing the same map or I'm running up and down the same field, it's a different experience. Every time I boot it up, it's a different experience. I don't get the same exact result. The same person doesn't pop out of the same spot. I don't die the same exact way. It's a different experience. Gaming is dynamic. That's why motherfuckers can buy that's why 48% buy 0 to 2 games a year. This argument over access, it doesn't exist. Not right now. 5 to 15% of gamers may think about access. That's not enough to propel the direction that Xbox is moving in. Xbox can hope for at best that they can compete with Steam. At best, they can compete with Steam, and they're 11 billion, I believe it is, that they bring in a year. So if they completely remove themselves from console gaming and they flip themselves over to like a PC-based gaming, maybe they can go back and forth with Steam. Maybe. And that's a very small maybe. But this whole hoopla about Microsoft, an Xbox that can play PlayStation, why would it matter? If the box is going to be more expensive than the power that it packs, if I still got to wait for the PlayStation games, who cares? Who cares? If I bought a PlayStation for the PlayStation games, don't want to wait even 14 months. Now, if you're talking about a month or two, that's different. Or definitely it's day and day, but I don't even want to wait 14 months. I want the PlayStation games. That's the only thing that's like they're running off a very thin thread. But yeah, you guys, these guys, that's why I said you got to be careful. You got to understand what type of content creator is good for you, or what, like when you're going on a trip, what type of travel agent is good for you. There are travel agents that will just take you anywhere to go see the typical sites and all the other stuff, fine. But there's other travel agents that will help you get the biggest bang for your buck. Because you just, you have a list of things. You got to understand where you fit in. The sightseeing travel agent or the biggest bang for your buck travel agent. Which one do you want? Neither one of them is bad. They serve different needs. So when it comes to these content creators, you guys got to do the same. There are sightseeing content creators that'll take you there on the floor and they'll interview this one and talk to that one. And that's fine and dandy. And if that's what tickles your feathers, oh shit, they're sitting there talking to Shannon Loftus. Then okay, fine. But I don't want to hear shit from Shannon Loftus unless she's being grilled about my consumer needs. So that don't tickle me fancy to see said famous person. I'm worried about consumerism. So I'll go to somebody that may not have Shannon Loftus there, but they got a bunch of receipts of what Shannon Loftus has said versus what Xbox has done. And they're able to feasibly and fathomably break it down in a way that's like, yeah, Shannon Loftus has been saying a lot of this and a lot of that, but it's not matching the action. And for the same said person to say, I bet you next month they do this and them be right, that's more important to me than a content creator that takes you sightseeing. These guys fly too close to the source. I explained how I did this with Stadia and how it hampered my ability to actually help the consumer. There was a period in time to where I was less, with me having sources working on stuff at Stadia, I was less resourceful to the listening public as I was when I didn't have those sources. When I was forced to gumshoe it and research it and put it all together myself. So it all depends on what, if you guys come here to the internet or come to the gaming community online and you're like, well, look, I don't need any help making my decisions. I just want to see the sites. I want to hear what, Mike Ybarra has to say, or this person has to say. You want all that sightseeing stuff? Great. I'm here. But there's other people who are like, look, I don't need to see those people. Some very difficult decisions happening in gaming, and I got to make some very difficult choices. So I'm trying to see what's what and who's likely to do what. Gotta go somewhere else. Hopefully that makes sense, because we got a lot of crossing of the streams and people trying to attack people on different sides instead of understanding the lane that they're in. Let's see here. JC says true. Hold on one second. JC says true. The kids aren't buying the shit. We are, exactly. He says, my girls just got my OG PlayStation 5 when I got my Pro, and they all stoked and loving it. Yeah. Like my son, he came out of the fucking womb playing video games. All right. My youngest son. So yeah, access is important to him. His older brother, he has a PlayStation. Now he is more like me, but it took him longer to get there. Because when they were growing up, That's when the 360 and shit was out. And I was like, nah, y'all ain't playing my Xbox. So I'm making y'all play PlayStation, right? And this is at the time when all their friends had an Xbox and Xbox was hot. They fucking hated me, right? So they were like, we don't want this PlayStation 3. So when they got older and they became of age, they ran to Xbox, not understanding there was a dynamic shift. They ran to Xbox. And of course, during the course of the Xbox One generation, of course, I go to PlayStation, you know? So they're looking at me like, fuck are you doing, dude? Like, this is Xbox, right? And I'm like, yeah, but PlayStation is the shit now. Like, it's different, you know. Sorry. Sorry I, you know, played the rope-a-dope with you guys mentally, but PlayStation's shit now. Oh, no, my oldest son. No, Dad, you're tripping, blah, blah, blah. And then he just calls me up one day. He's like, Dad, what happened to Xbox? I was like, I was trying to tell you. He's like, they're trash. He said, man, I'm so bored over there. And I was like, I tried to tell you, son, but you didn't want to listen. And he was just like questioning me, like, what happened? I broke it down to him. So then he finally got his PlayStation 5, me and him game share. And, you know, he's as happy as a kid in a candy store and shit. You know, so I'm telling you, you guys at times don't know that there's two different lanes out here because everybody's trying to cross into everybody else's path. You gotta understand who you are as a listener. Are you someone that wants to go sightseeing? Are you someone that wants to get, you know, critical information? Unbiased critical information, like straight down the middle? Okay. Or are you somebody that's looking for both? That's fine. One year you might want to go on a sightseeing trip. Another year you might say, oh, I gotta watch my cash. I want to get the biggest bang for my buck. But you got to know who delivers what. And I'm not saying either or is wrong. It's just that we got to stop this crossing of the streams to help our consumers to know what they're dealing with. If you're all about access to high level people in the gaming sphere and about, you know, hey, look, man, I'm here at such and such studio. I'm here. I'm talk to, you know, then let people know that's who you are. Even if they don't let you know, it's your job as the observer of the content. You guys got to be smarter about this shit. Yeah, JC, it is funny, bro. I was like, no, y'all ain't touching my Xbox. Here, y'all get to have PlayStation. They used to hate me. Man, my friend has an Xbox, man. I know as soon as I walked away, fuck you, Dad. Fuck that motherfucker, man. Wait till we get grown, bro. Yeah, man, we're getting Xbox and nothing he can do about it. And they grow up. And then my older son, he was grown first, so he bought his little brother an Xbox and shit. Yeah, look at this. Look what my bigger brother got me. Yeah, fuck you, Dad. They were mad at me. I'm like, little do y'all motherfuckers know, man. Y'all, woo. I should have traded that PlayStation 3 in for a PS4, but you'll find out. You know, so all right. So yeah, I don't know what this Xbox is going to do. I don't get the point of having hardware that is going to be a Steam box. You're going to out Steam on their failed initiative. Here goes Xbox again. Like, remember when the PlayStation 3 was trying to power on your toaster and all that other shit, and was trying to become the supercomputer of your home? Xbox says, oh, you'll never succeed at that, but we'll give it a try. And came out with the Xbox One with TV. I don't know. I don't know how successful they're going to be with this, but it might be a smarter play. But here's what I'll tell Microsoft, because they got the money to do it. They just got to spend it wisely when it comes to gaming. Number one, you have to get your stores together. You cannot fuck with Steam. You got an upward hill to climb, because Steam already got it set up to where, hey, you cannot put sales elsewhere, and we don't get those same sales too. Otherwise, don't even come in our stores. Steam is a very powerful proposition. So you guys got to think of a shit ton of things from a storefront perspective that will make gamers say, oh, I gotta come to Xbox. Holy fuck, I gotta come to the Xbox storefront versus Steam. Because Steam already got that advantage. So you gotta have everything that Steam offers and your own set of amenities that would make PC gamers go, holy fuck. Right? So that's first and foremost. Secondly, price is going to be a factor. So if this thing is going to be pricey, right? And it's pricey because, you know, you're making it has to work. Like Cold Blood said, the drivers and all that, you guys got to figure out that sauce, man. You got to figure that sauce out, because if in order for me to get a comparable quote unquote new Xbox that can play games at 4K 60, I got to pay what, $3,000 for that motherfucker? If I got to do that, or maybe you guys are going to use AMD as a partner. So let's just say I got to pay like $2,200 for it, right? That shit better work, man. I better not hear, you know, every time I put, and come up with some weird ass system error. System block 185. Like, that shit bets not happen, man. So reliability and quality have to be job one. And if you do it, maybe you can, you know, your store has to be quality. The box has to be quality. Even if you're offering access to Steam, make it to where people would prefer to go to your store. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Well, that's that. Let's go on to PlayStation. Open. Hold on. What the fuck? What the fuck? I hit the wrong clip. I did. Go on to PlayStation. Let's talk about it. So we had we're gonna mix this part and the last part before we get out of here. So, Cold Blood. PlayStation 5 Pro patch of Assassin's Creed Odyssey seems to be turning heads. Everybody loves it. They're like, oh, this is shit. Wow, whoop diddly do, right? Now, you played on the Pro, so you would be able to better tell us if it actually is that good or if it isn't. As far as, again, the what do you call it? The performance and the fidelity is. But again, we've had Digital Foundry confirm this and say this is, they said this is like probably the best looking Pro port to date or something like that. What are your thoughts on them saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro, it was a hard sell? They can't justify the cause, but now back-to-back ports, PlayStation 5 Pro, even in their estimates, is way better than the other offerings, or even a large slice. Dare I say this? Now, I'm not saying the best PCs out there, but a large slice of the PCs that you motherfuckers are playing. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, is it really justifiable for just 2 games that were a little bit more exceptional than usual.
Oh, you asking me that question?
Yeah.
Hold on, why is it? Oh. Now I was trying to get some Assassin's Creed footage in here. I don't think that it was just 2 games that are more exceptional than usual. I think we got. I mean, I haven't played every single game, but I definitely know of 2 games myself that are just like I thought I was on a high power PC, which is Stellar Blade, Spider-Man. So yeah, I think that God damn it. I think that in my experience, the platform is more than worth it. But that's me. Again, what are your thoughts on here we go. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Jesus Christ. Again, what are your thoughts? That's me. Those are my thoughts. I think it's way more than worth it based off the experience, the games that I want to play, and the fact that they feel like a high-powered PC. And then I'll add in there too. Well, go ahead.
Look, if you can get a PS5 for $350, yeah, and the Pro costs $700 right now, is the uptick in a little bit more fidelity really worth it right now? What do you say? Like you pay double the price?
Absolutely. Here's why. The base machines came out too soon. They came out too early, in my opinion. They are the 4K.
But they came out at the appropriate price for that time.
I mean, okay, I'll put it like this. If I sell you a sandwich and you're like, I want a hamburger, and you're like, okay, just give me $3 and I'll give you a hamburger. And then when you get the hamburger, there's like a slither of I took like a corner of the patty and I put it in there. And then in order for you to get the full patty, you got to pay double the price. I mean, for what we paid $500 for, it was appropriate at the time, but for the longevity of it, and now I don't even think it was appropriate at the time. Like, I paid $400 for my console. I like my PlayStation base, but it came out too early. What did we really get? I mean, do you really think that we couldn't have got those games? Horizon Forbidden West, remember we were told, oh, they can't do the flying mechanic because of the PlayStation would hold it back. And then the PlayStation has a flying mechanic. All these gritty, grimy, oatmeal looking performance modes. I mean, at least they were there. But for $500, we know we were expecting a lot more. And then the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out. You get the full hamburger patty. It just so happens that
okay. And now I'm gonna counter argue that. When you expected way more with $500, why am I being told that my expectations are too high with $700? Why am I being told that, Moss?
Because
when your expectation was not meant for $500, bro.
Because you were expecting for $500, you were expecting something that just wasn't possible at the moment. That's where we were all tricked. We thought that the technology was up to par for what we wanted, and it wasn't. It was better, but it wasn't there yet. And that's where I think we all got tricked. Like, to get the 4K 60 that we wanted on a console, do I think it was $700? No, I think they could have give it to us at $600. but it was still worth it because if I'm going to game on a console, I need that 4K 60.
Okay, Moss. Okay, I just want to know what was your expectation me saying right now about Assassin's Creed, like that I'm gonna cap it to high heaven about how fucking amazing it is?
No,
I
didn't know what you were going to say. That's why I asked you.
Because if I'm being honest, to me, Ubisoft only can do environments great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, environments are their fucking forte, bro. Like, those dudes should get a raise. Everybody else, the character designers, the voice actors, the fucking writers, bro, they should all get fired. Because they have no fucking idea what they're doing. The characters look like trash, bro. I'm serious. They look like they're from the PS4 generation at the beginning. Maybe in the main menu screen, they look kind of okay, but as soon as it's in the game, it looks like fucking garbage. The voice acting is terrible in English, so I did not even bother with it. Fuck no. The writing is also, holy shit, is it bad. Like, but since we're talking about PS5 Pro, as long as you're just looking at the environment, it looks great. But it has a lot of visual glitches. Like, you see textures and shit just spasm out at times, you know. The performance just dips to 30 FPS in that one specific area. Like, why? Why would it go to 30 FPS there? On the Pro, of all things. Nobody can explain that. Like, I showed it in the live stream. I was just going from one area to another, and it changed from 30 to 60 all the time.
Oh, you
why,
the
why does it happen? No, look, I understood later that it is a fucking feature because it's with all the global illumination and whatever. But why is it on the Pro? Why is the Pro not running it at 60? What the fuck is going on? The Pro should not have a fucking aneurysm every time you change the area.
Yeah, they did explain that though. Well, yeah, that was explained, which I don't like that. When you're, it's locked to 30 everywhere. So it's purposely locked to 30 on every single platform except for PC when you go there. It's locked to 30 when you get to that point.
Why on the Pro?
I don't know. The only explanation that was given was that because you're building and there's a lot of assets moving around that they just decided to leave it at a stable 30. That's all I know.
Well, what they're saying is the Pro ain't strong enough to have some fucking ray tracing going or whatever. That's what they're saying.
I don't know. On that part, no. I don't know. You got to ask them why they didn't do it. I mean, it clearly has enough strength to do ray tracing through the game.
Yeah, exactly. Why in the game it has enough strength for ray tracing and everything, but over there it's 30 FPS.
Yeah, I don't know.
In that fucking base where you're probably gonna put some hours into.
Excuse me. Yeah, that part I didn't like that they locked.
I also don't like the character designs. They are just horrible. They look terrible, bro. I don't know what happened to Ubisoft, but they cannot design characters for next gen.
Now, when you say character design, I mean, you mean how detailed the models are, or you talking about their appearance?
Yeah.
Like, you know how we made fun of Concord and are you talking about that, or are you talking about just modernness of their.
Yes. Also, some of those characters, look fucking garbage. Yes, but no, I was talking about graphically.
Oh, graphically.
They don't look up to par with next gen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say that in game, the facial rendering of characters in game, they're not impressive, and probably because that part would probably be they don't put a lot of, because it's so open world and all this other shit. They don't put a lot of effort into that. I would say that they do not put a lot of effort in how their characters look in game, like it's graphically. I will say that, but to me, that didn't bother me at all, because the character design to me is cool and just fine, and the character movement, especially in an action game like this, the character movement, that's what I'm focused on. The character movement and design to me was badass. So yeah, I'm not looking at their facial structure and all, you know what I mean? Not too much, especially when most of these motherfuckers are dressed up anyway. They're in
boss. If those conversations were always just in third person, and you never saw a close up of their faces, I would probably not even notice it as much. But since you actually do that, where you talk to these motherfuckers and they have a close up of your face, it looks shit.
Yeah.
If any area should be fixed, that's the area they should fix first.
Let me ask you a question.
Performance-wise, wait. Performance-wise, the game is okay. Like it runs 60. What do you expect? It ain't running 100 FPS on a Pro. I can tell you that much. Which would be great if they had a mode where it just unlocked FPS completely and it actually ran way over 60 FPS. Like, I don't need no ray tracing or nothing, bro. But give me a FPS mode that is actually using my TV for once. Fucking feature it got the 120 Hz. It ain't using it much.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak on the PlayStation 5 Pro too much. I know in your stream though, the game looked fucking awesome, as they're saying in the chat. Game looked great on the stream. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I played it on GeForce Now, and I'm about to give you guys access to it. But because I was trying to fuck with the settings on my capture card to make sure that I gave it, but it looked great there too.
I said, the environment, like 90% of the gameplay where you are just out and about, looks great. It's just the time when you talk to someone, or I don't know, or when you get to this fucking area where it becomes 30 FPS all of a sudden. It's
like
fucking jarring, bro.
Yeah, like when you're fighting. Yeah, I would imagine that. Yeah, that would suck. I've yet to experience that, but I'm focused on the in fights and shit like that, and the movement and shit in fight to me looks pretty cool. You know, I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it looks pretty cool to me. I love the assassins movements and fight. I even like some of Yasuke's finishers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it depends on what you focus on. When I think of stuff like that, I'm focused on the fights. Like when I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, my judgment of the game wasn't the conversation screens. I thought the conversation screens in Horizon Zero Dawn were flat out creepy and scary as fuck. that weird ass saliva on the teeth, the way the eyes would roll sometimes. I thought that shit was fucking horrifying. But that's not what I focused on. I focused on my gameplay or whatever. So that's just, I guess it depends on what you focus on. I mean, if that's what you focus on, that's what you focus on. But I'm thinking about character movements and stuff while I'm fighting, sneaking, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. Yeah, my experience, I got about a little bit over 5 hours. Like I said, I'm gonna start releasing some of this content because I recorded it in 4K. Yeah, my experience, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, is it excellent? Nah, I won't say all that, but I think it's pretty good. I actually liked the story. That was one of the things that surprised me because, again, when I play an Ubisoft game, I don't give a fuck about the story. All I need to know is where I'm going and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't play Ubisoft games for the story. But this time, I actually think that the story was pretty good. If I had to knock anything, it would be the voice acting for the assassin. Like, yeah, you do have to take it off. I think you have to. You're better off taking it off of English and putting it in Japanese with subtitles. Yeah, that part is bad. Her voice actor is bad. But no, besides that, I think it's pretty good. I think the 8 Metacritic actually is close to what I think of the game, between 8, maybe an 8.3. But again, I'm only 5 hours in. And I was surprised. I didn't think that I was really going to enjoy this because I'm gonna be honest with you, after Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like that was my game of the year when it came out, was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But I didn't like Valhalla. I for some reason I just couldn't get into Valhalla, and for some reason I thought the assassin being in there would be cool, but I didn't think I'd be able to get into this one at all. And surprisingly, yeah, I like it. I'm not saying that I love it, but I like it. I like it. But I do get to, the 30 frames per second, that does suck. And even if you up it to 40 on the Pro, that's one thing I did say to myself, like, because I was thinking about, like, I love my Pro so much, I was like, do I want to get this game on the Pro, even though I have Ubisoft Plus? Because I started playing it and I was liking it. I was like, shit, should I buy this thing on the Pro? Like, I might just actually go out and spring 70 for this on the Pro and play it on my Pro. And then, then that area, I was like, nah, I can't do 30. I can't do no fucking 30. I can't do 30 frames per second nowhere, bro. Like, the cutscenes are okay, but then as I'm going through the cutscenes, which the cutscenes are 30 frames on PC as well, unless there's a setting that I missed. The cutscenes are 30 frames on PC. So I'm like, and when they hit to those cutscenes and they're 30, I'm like, fuck, I can't do this shit. So then I thought about, like you said, the area builder, which maybe I won't spend that much time in. I don't know, but I can't do 30. I do get to, if it was like 40, like if you can get 40 out of that, like if you have VRR established, maybe. I can't do 30 frames anywhere, and that's because it literally makes me sick now. I can't play games at 30 anymore. I know people I was made fun of in the past. People like, oh, stop being a bitch, stop being a baby. But no, I'm dead ass serious. Like, when you've been gaming at 60 and your eyes, I guess, get trained to following games at 60, you try to switch to, well, at least my eyes, because I have horrible fucking eyes. But, me trying to switch back to 30, I can't do it. I get headaches and shit. That shit, that's not fun. And I used to think people were lying. Oh, you're fucking lying. You're being a baby. No, that shit is dead ass, bro. Oh, they mad. They mad you don't like Assassin's Creed. They haven't added PSSR to it yet either. I was watching your stream, says Michael Morning. and I thought the game looked great. Yeah, dude, when he was in the menu, just the level of detail and shit, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Holy shit. At Cold Blood, I heard pro.
I'm still thinking y'all capping, bro, because did I play something completely different?
Bruh. I wish I could put it up here on the screen now. No, I'm dead ass serious. It was like night and day between Monster Hunter Wilds and again, you know, and you playing this. Like, it was good. It looked good. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was the best 4K stream and you've done some good 4K streams. They really look good, but that was the best looking 4K stream that you've done. So I look at, because when I first saw it, like I saw the menu, I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be good." But I was like, "We're only in the menu. I'm not worried about it." I mean, I'm not gonna say something too soon. Then as you started playing the game, like the sharpness, the color, was like, "Fuck." I was about to ask you, did you do something? But no, it looks good. It looked good.
Actually, I tricked y'all. That's not 4K.
It's not 4K?
No. It's actually 40p streamed at 4K.
Oh, well, that must have worked or some shit like that. That shit look good, bro. If you try streaming at 4K,
I guess it did.
If you try streaming at 4K, it might look better. I don't know. Maybe that did the trick, bro. I'm telling you. At
40p, I have no sound issues.
Okay. Yeah, you might. Yeah, you might have to just test 4K though. But that shit look good. I would keep doing that then, man. That shit look fucking good. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't play it now. That look, y'all tell me who've seen it. Michael Borden seen it. I thought it looked real good. I really thought that was his best 4K stream. I really did.
Nah, it's definitely not better than what I have on PC, bro.
Well, no. I'm talking. Yeah, I'm in.
Stop the cat.
I'm talking about through PlayStation. It was your best 4K stream for PlayStation. C-Fresh says AC Shadows looks amazing on the Pro. Trucknet says when PlayStation studios like Gorilla are passing on PSSR, you should accept that it's not ready at all. So here's the problem with that, Trucknet, and I was kind of like explaining this in the Discord. PSSR, as far as an anti-aliaser, it's brand new. It's AI and machine learning. So it's not going to, as an anti-aliaser, it's not going to be on par at this stage of the game versus manual efforts, because manual efforts, people are saying, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. And the AI machine learning is still in its infancy stage because it hasn't learned anything yet. So there are some cases to where even at its infancy stage, it still looks great. There are some instances in its infancy stage where there still needs to be a little bit tweaking. But that's with all AI and machine learning. You cannot, an AI and machine learning based software or tool, it has to learn in order for it to get to a certain point. So it never will be ready unless it learns from something. Prime example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey for Stadia. When Stadia was finally finished and they could program no more, for Stadia and make it any more better, it was 1080p 30. That's all they could program for. Everything else relied on the AI and machine learning. That's why they went to people and said, hey, we're going to give you a free copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey that you can play online at will for these several months. And they extended it a little bit, time too. They got 55,000 hours of data from that. From that 55,000 hours of data, they were then able to take everything that the AI and machine learning process went through and change it from 1080p 30 online to 4K 60. That's how AI and machine. I tried to tell y'all this. Y'all were all laughing and huckling and chuckling. I tried to give you guys a 5-year head start on how this technology works. So again, it's another situation where, this is AI and machine learning based. I knew what I was coming into, because if you compare this to DLSS when it first launched, this is way better than what DLSS was when it first launched. Now DLSS is way better. Now we're talking about 4 versions later with all types of AI and machine learning data filtered through it. But PSSR, in some cases, when they were making the PS5 Pro enhancements, in some cases, the anti-aliaser inside the fucking technology was better. So they said, we're not going to use it for this particular game. We'll use it for other games, but we won't use it for this game because we can give you so much better results right now from the thing that we've manually programmed. So it's not about it not being ready. That would be like arguing that Stadia wasn't ready. Like, for instance, Stadia's end game was AK120. 4K 60 wasn't it. They knew with the technology that they had that they could reach AK120. But they couldn't roll it out until they got up to 4K 60. Then when they sold it retail, they used the AI and machine learning to get to AK120. And I talked to developers. They're on our Cloud Doses channel. They saw the AK120. It's just that the technology that they needed to infuse with it once they got to the point to where Stadia had enough data to do AK120, that was owned by Bethesda. They had a partnership with Bethesda. Bethesda's Orion technology rumored would have stabilized it, and they got bought by Microsoft and never got access to the technology. So you got to understand this AI machine learning tech. You understand that there are milestones, and out of the box is never going to produce that milestone, but those milestones are not possible without the AI and machine learning aspects. And you don't get to those milestones unless there is AI and machine learning from people actually playing it. So the product right now, PSSR, produces enough results and enhancements to where it can be sold retail. But the beautiful thing of it is this isn't it. And think about this. All those other AI and machine learning, like DLSS and all those other ones, it took them years to get to where they're at. And it took them at least 2 years to go to a 2.0 moment. From what we're hearing, in less than a year, not in less than a year, I'm sorry. In a little bit over a year, not years, in a little bit over a year, PSSR is going to have its 2.0 moment in 2026. That's insane. But again, I told y'all, this is going to grow rapidly, even more so than DLSS. It's going to still take it some time for it to match DLSS, but it's going to grow rapidly because there are more people on these consoles playing these AAA games, the totality of them, more consistently than on PC. Why? Because only 17% of the PC gamers have the hardware to play them. So when you do the math, if you look at least Steam, that's under 100 million people that have the hardware to play them. There are there's going to be more than that on PlayStation eventually. So at some point in time, PlayStation is going to come to an advantage by the PlayStation 6 era. Like they'll start closing the gap in the PlayStation 5 era. There's still DLSS, I think, will still, be number one, but to get something close to DLSS on a console is sick. So I think PSSR will continue to steadily close the gap between it and DLSS. But I think the PS6 era is when it surpasses it. Because by the time the base PS6 comes out, you're going to have the PlayStation 5 Pro people on PSSR, and you're going to have the new PlayStation 6 people on and everybody's going to have access to PSSR. So by the midway point, I'm guesstimating by the midway point of the PS6 life cycle, it will surpass DLSS. But yeah, there has to be something to grow. There has to be AI and machine learning happening. He says, but PlayStation had the tech way longer. It doesn't matter. There's nobody playing on TruckNet. You guys don't understand the AI and machine learning tech. All I can say is instead of doing all that laughing and huckling and chuckling, or when you were supporting Xbox TruckNet, you should have been paying attention to why people like me was saying xCloud was trash, why we were calling it out. If you understood the tech, you wouldn't have this difficulty understanding that what you're saying, you're using dedicated programming logic versus AI machine learning. I had to learn when I first went and started covering Stadia, my first 6 months, I realized I didn't know shit. So I shut the fuck up and I just learned. Because I would be like, well, I'm expecting this and I'm expecting that. And people would hit me up like, Maz, like your content, but you're off about this. This works differently, blah, 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 blah. They broke it down to me. And people, Google IT people, I played with Google technicians. We didn't have a clan, but I was playing regularly with Google Division 2 with Google technicians. I'm on streams with them because I learned from them, start tapping them. Then I would say within 6 months, I finally started knowing my shit and I understood what the tech was capable of. And the death of Stadia didn't change that because they didn't create AI and machine learning. They just had a version of it. You guys threw it to the wayside. Who cares about it? Tried to tell y'all. Tried to tell y'all ain't listening. I don't think. What is he talking about? Space Marine 2 is running faster than the Pro. Yeah, TruckNet. You got to do your research, bro. All right. Okay. There was one more game. Well, you got our differing opinions on Assassin's Creed. Like I said, that's what we do here, man. This is not a circle jerk. I mean, I will say that his 4K / 1440p stream looked amazing, but yeah, it is what it is. You guys gotta be cognizant of the people that you're listening to. Yeah, TruckNet, you're making the same mistake that I made. It's not Space Marines 2. It's Dark Tide. I made the same mistake, bro. You know what TruckNet and people like TruckNet is good at? And TruckNet, I don't mean this to be offensive, but it's just real here. You are good at absorbing rhetoric. Like you'll hear shit from different sources, and so and you'll cling on to it, and then what you'll do is you'll try to rationalize that rhetoric. Can I give you a warning, gamer to gamer, as someone that used to do the same thing? I used to listen to Mooch and Crap and RDX Dealers Podcast, RDX, and all those podcasts. I used to listen to all that shit, right? I would absorb the rhetoric that they were giving me, and I would try to rationalize it. And even though I may have, quote unquote, perceptionally out-argued someone on something that they just didn't have the data at the time to counter-argue me, the entire point I was trying to make always came out false when it came to Xbox. I'm looking at this exchange right here. And like, for instance, PS4 Pro actually had 32% speed increase on the CPU. Again, you're talking about static numbers. The PS4 Pro was always going to keep that 32%. By the end of this generation, the PlayStation 5 Pro will eclipse that significantly. As far as not the actual CPU, the increase on CPU, but the output. So that's not going to matter. You're making arguments that are logistically tethered to dedicated solutions versus AI and machine learning solutions. And again, as usual, like me, when the dust settles, you're going to end up wrong. Yes, there's a 32% increase in the CPU. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've absorbed that from Digital Foundry and absorbed it from this. And let me tell you about Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry is the worst group you can listen to when it comes to predictive console content. They are horrific. Now people are finally starting, I'm listening to different content creators. They are finally coming to the thing that first, you got to give my brother his flowers, first Cold Blood, then I have been trying to tell you for a while now. If you're a console gamer, Digital Foundry serves you no purpose anymore. They were fun to listen to while the console war was going on, because if you wanted to troll and make fun of the losing side of a Digital Foundry video, okay, fine. But besides that superficial exercise, they were pointless. They're pointless. Every predictive analysis that Digital Foundry has given you, they also been wrong. I will go back to the Xbox One X. TruckNet, they were wrong. I will go back to the Xbox Series X and the Series S. They were wrong. Recently, Alex Bugaga, they walked that motherfucker out on the plank and put a scarlet letter on his ass, because when him and Oliver went to, what was it, GDC or whatever it was, and saw the new I guess AMD technology that was FSR4, Oliver asked Alex, and I think he was setting him up. Did you see anything? No, absolutely not. This ain't part of that Project Amethyst, or there's nothing in relation to PSSR on that. And Mark Cerny said, "Oh, really? Really?" And came out here and pissed at everybody's cornflakes and said, "This is an end result of Project Amethyst, and you will see similar results in PSSR." And so Digital Foundry said, "Oh, we stepped in this one. Alex, you better go out there and apologize." And that's why I was making fun of it at first, thinking, damn, Digital Foundry is salty as hell that they got to say something good about the Pro. But no, that was their way of saving their own ass and making Alex fall on the sword. And he put that salty thumbnail on there with a salty looking face on there. Digital Foundry is great at analyzing shit that's in their hands. Every time they go to predict something, they are fucking wrong. Yes, is it 32% yes less CPU power? It doesn't matter. Study AI and machine learning tech and how it compensates for that. It doesn't matter. So they're giving us better hardware. AC Shadows isn't even using PSSR yet. That's still to come. Yeah, and then once they throw PSSR in it, that's what we want though, Mike. Use other technologies, still give us a great enhancement on the PlayStation 5 Pro. That just shows you right then and there that the AI and machine learning integration and the uptick in power, that right there, those raw components without adding in PSSR, those are great enough. Just imagine that's going to get better. And then they haven't even put PSSR in there yet. But they're doing it right. They're like, PSSR, we need to work on a little bit more. Because I imagine that when they first started building this game, that PSSR wasn't steadily available. It's probably halfway through development or whatever, or the latter part of development. They're adding PSSR. Wait till we start seeing games built from the ground up with PSSR. And we're already going to see games that have the 2.0 version in 2026. That's crazy to me. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it was worth it. I do think that we could have got it at a cheaper price, but I do think it's worth it because I look at it this way. And this is the same way Sony looked at it. And I bet my right arm, this is the same way that the board looked at it. When the Xbox One X, which was the world's most powerful console at the time, when that came out, that was considered the industry standard, right? That motherfucker was $250 more than the Xbox One S. Because the Xbox One S, when it first launched, it was $249. For an extra $250, you got the Xbox One X. Now later, the retail price around the One S hovered around $300 later. Then it went back down to $249 and then $200 permanently, right? But the Xbox One S was $249. I believe at the time of the One X. So that's a $250 uptick. Okay. So if you look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, PlayStation 5 Pro is $250 more than the PlayStation Digital. I'm not excusing it. I'm just letting you know that nobody else is coming out with a competing mid-gen refresh. They're trying to increase margins. The board was like, no, the industry standard now was a $250 increase. So that's why they made it that way. I don't agree with it. I think it would have been better to drop it 100. Why? Because we got these consoles too early in the first place. I just don't think that they were ready. So I would have dropped it 100, me personally, but that's me. I'm not Hiroki Totoki. Anyway. And another reason why I thought it was worth it is because, look, because the base model consoles came out too early to me, the 4K 60 that is acceptable to me, I would have to get here. I got to get this because I'm going to get it here. Because I hate to tell y'all, y'all might think that I'm mean or I'm just trying to, overvalue my purchase. No. I am telling you, as the years go on and these developers try to do more and more with these games, you're going to start seeing you're either going to start seeing some shitty performance modes or you guys are going to be fucking pissed when some of your games don't get 60 frames per second on the base. I'm sorry. As these motherfuckers start using Unreal 5, my God. Right. What's up, Vet? So is PlayStation dead asking for a friend? These guys. Okay. All right. That is it for our show today. I gotta get out. I gotta get ready to get out of here. Cold Blood, did you have any final thoughts before we got the frick out of here?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up
But
today.
wait.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, I have one.
Yes, sir.
Since y'all enjoyed it so much, y'all get another stream today.
Dude, I'm telling you that the game looked fucking awesome when you streamed it, bro. We appreciate it because you're suffering. So right after this, here, let me put this in the chat. Oh no, not right. I shouldn't do that to you. You're gonna. Are you gonna need a break first, Cold Blood?
What time we have right now?
It's 1:50 right now. Hold on. Let me do this. Do you need a break first? Let me know. Because I didn't get my funky ass in the shower yet. I'll just hold off.
Well, I would need to eat something first.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do that. Because I'm setting up the stream now. Hold on. Create go live. Now, do you prefer if I make the stream? You prefer if I'm the one that if I enable it first? So what you gonna need, like 30 minutes? Is 30 minutes cool? Or you need more than that?
Maybe that's enough. Yeah.
Okay. So within an hour from now, so I would say probably 4:45, y'all, because I don't want to leave out of here too late. Because this is gonna be my super late day. But in like, what did I say? No, 4:45. I'm sorry. Let's shoot for 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Cold Blood is gonna go live, possibly, and do some Assassin's Creed, and we'll figure something out. All right, y'all. But appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you. Sorry, I had some shit thrown at me at the last minute. But thank you guys for your support. Oh no, you know what it is? Here, let me put this up here real quick before we get the fuck out of here. Now I figured out what it was. I'm sorry, because I was half asleep when I saw it. No, this dude, Billy Bunn. Who the fuck is Bill Coon? Oh shit. Bill Coon said Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be announced on March 24th. He put that out here this morning. And he got a picture of the pre-order bonus. God, who is this motherfucker? Who is Bill Coon?
He leaks all the PlayStation Plus stuff normally.
Oh, okay. So he must have access to, I think he has access to jobbers that get this shit and they market this shit out.
Well, he's French based. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But his shit is almost 99% accurate always.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's what's going on. Okay, cool. All right. That's the show, folks. Appreciate you. Around 3 p.m. Cold Blood will be streaming. Just here. Follow us at this link. Fuck it. Oh, here it goes. Follow us at this link. So as soon as he goes live, you guys will know. All right. All right, guys, we're out of here. Till next time, you guys have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.